Attis's ex-girlfriend had started to come out with some allegations against Attis. He creates a fake brand email to get access to her address so that he can send her this fake cease and desist that he typed up and printed himself. I sent Anna. He's sending out a bunch of defamation shit. So she knew the letter was being sent.
We want to make it very clear that we did not know that this letter was being made. Mikaela, should we say like Attis did know about it because he didn't want the lies about him? Because so I just want to make it very clear that none of us sat there and wrote a letter and we're gonna harass a little girl.
She lied and said we did not know about the letter. I was deceived to some extent, and I'm not saying I'm innocent. I'm sitting here and I'm behind the camera thinking, where's the fucking energy? If she is lying, say something.
It was 5 adults going to confront a 14-year-old. Like, I realized that we did it to intimidate her, but come on, she's 14. But, okay. Because we have to take accountability. I'm going to say we didn't talk. We were just there
to support.
Okay. Oh my God. Like, I've filmed this so many times, and like, I guess when you talk about fucked shit, you just get a little bit too emotional, and like the microphone, the quality, it's just like the muffling. I know you guys don't want to fucking see this, so I just have to breathe before I like come and talk, because it can just be very overwhelming. Something drops. A bomb drops. And it's, Alice saying that while she was under the influence of alcohol, that Attis had done something to her while she was asleep. She was also underage. She was also very young, and Attis was over the age of consent. So ultimately, R word in 2 different ways. When I remember reading that thing, I remember I had sent her a message on Instagram, and I had said something about me believing her, because before this, I was in tea time. I was like, sticking up for myself. I was defending myself. I was defending Attis. I was defending Anna. People did not like me at all. People did not like Anna. They didn't like Attis. But I sent her that message saying I believed her. And I remember commenting something about how I believed her in tea time. Or I had posted something about me believing her in tea time. I can't remember. I can't find screenshots. This is like ancient stuff.
Hey guys, it's Future Mikaela here. I did end up finding the post that I did make in tea time, and I want you guys to take the time to read this post. As you can see here, I'm very much, feeling bad for Alice. My mindset has completely shifted. I have found out new information. I have realized that the person that I'm dating is, ultimately an abuser. And in this post here, I was posting to kind of let Alice know and this group know that I was kind of becoming aware of this, while simultaneously allowing Attis to go and write certain parts about himself being an amazing boyfriend in this post. Anything I ever said about Attis in this post did not come from me. About him not being abusive or being an amazing boyfriend, that does not come from me. That comes from him, and that comes from him. And that was the only way I was able to post anything about Alice at all. And I was absolutely begging to be able to say something at all.
I haven't even been able to find screenshots of like Alice's posts in tea time, because this is where majority of all this stuff like got exposed through that group. So we can't really find any of this stuff, but I knew Tea Time had seen my comment because they were just still attacking me. Katie King, all these girls still on my back, still on my case, as they should be, as they should have been, 100%. They should have kicked my ass. Someone should have freaking, I don't know, done something to me when they saw me at the store, because that's what I deserved at that very moment. When Alice fucking said that stuff about what had happened to her with the alcohol and the being asleep, that was already something that I was experiencing. So I knew Alice was telling the truth when I heard that, and I had messaged Alice and I had said, I believe you. So I went straight to Attis when I saw this information. I went straight to Attis, and I was in my bedroom, and I remember it like it was yesterday because Anna and Glenn were in the other room. And I had said to Attis, I believe Alice. I said, I believe her story because you do what you did to her to me. You've done it to me before. And I mentioned about the car, the brakes.
And then get really upset. He would just start like attacking his steering wheel and then like speed. And I would literally be worried for my life because we would go through really tight corners and I thought he was going to crash the car.
I mentioned about, obviously the sleep thing. I mentioned just a few other little things. The foster kids. I was having a go at him and he was, skitzing out, calling me crazy. Like the script at this point, he never really used to call me crazy or anything or like treat me the way that he treated Alice. So in that moment when I had told him like, I believe Alice, he started to switch on me. He started to be like, you're crazy. You just want fame. You want to ruin my life. Like, he was just saying all of this insane shit to me in the bedroom, screaming at me. Glenn and Anna were in the other room, as they would always hear all the time anyway. Another domestic, but this one sounded a bit too loud. So I guess Glenn and Anna had opened the door. And, you know, I was just like saying to Addis, like, and I fucking remember it because our room was dusty as fuck and we had these like black beds and there was just like dust all over it. And I was just sitting on the end of it and I was just saying, I believe Alice because you've done that stuff to me. And I had no shame. I was saying it in front of Glenn. I was saying it in front of Anna. And Addis was, you know, like screaming, saying he's going to kill himself. I don't know if he tried to jump off the balcony. Can't remember now. I don't give a fuck. But I know that he was pacing around out there and then he was just like saying that I want to ruin his life and stuff like that. And I don't even know, like my memory is so fucking shit. I cannot remember what happened after that. But I knew that Addis and I were estranged and we were estranged ever since this moment. There was not a moment from this when I told him that I believed Alice where we ever back to how we were before. We never were. And something in my head just switched and I just started to view this family, not Glenn, view this family differently because I just started to really listen when she posts. She would go live and I would secretly watch her live streams and I would listen to this information. And although she very much was still talking really badly and shit about me at times, which I didn't like, which as she should because I'm the fucking girlfriend and I'm defending him publicly, I would listen still and I believed her. And another thing I want to quickly mention is Hans Paul never spoke bad about Alice, not one time. Not one time. He defended her. She has gone through stuff before. Like, you guys were both doing stuff. Like, he was just, you know, he was the middle ground, the middle man. He never had a bad thing to say about her. And one thing about that fucking family is Hans Paul has empathy. He is different to the others. He is nothing like that family. Glenn, Hans, and I are all Pisces. And I know you don't give a fuck about star signs or whatever, but when I tell you we are Pisces in our true element, we are empathetic, we are different, we care about others, we don't like to engage in shit that's just shit talk, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was always an inside joke between me and Glenn when, you know, Anna and Atis would be saying some fucked up joke and we'd look at each other and we'd be like, sad, oh my God, or we'd get like our torch and be like, say that again, like pretend that we're recording to like get them cancelled because it was just truly an inside joke of how fucked up that they were and the shit they would say was just fucked up. Anyways, I need to get back. I'm a bit off track. So yeah, to conclude that whole situation, Atis and I were never the same. I was rooting for Alice secretly and I started my escape plan from that fucking house and that relationship. After the scandal, the entire internet was just bullying us. So many videos were, you know, talking about our family and making jokes of us. One of the biggest statements that, you know, the internet kind of really ran with was that Anna and I looked alike, and we really did. We both, you know, we had long black hair, big bobs, you know, we had the botched lip filler, ethnic nose. We had the whole look going. And I think it's because, you know, like back in that era, Kylie Jenner was a really big thing. And like, obviously I wanted to look like someone I idolized, which was Kylie Jenner. And Anna wanted to look like someone she idolized, which was Kylie Jenner. So we could just kind of fucking look the same. Alice, she's full force on the internet. She doesn't give a fuck. She's on live stream. She's talking shit. As she should. She's making fun of us looking alike. And I can see it. As you can see, like, here's a photo of us. We look the same. We both look pillow faced up. We look like we're twins. And it's just kind of strange because I'm dating her brother and like da-da-da-da-da. The internet really took the piss out of that. I literally woke up one day and I said, I hate this. I hate this bullying. I hate this family. I hate the way I look. Yeah, I just woke up one day and I was like, I don't want to look like this anymore. So I go and dye my hair light brown. I go and get my lip filler dissolved. I literally looked like this. I hope you know that my whole face was so botched with filler. When I tell you I had like 10 mils of filler in my jaw, chin, cheeks, lips, nose, Botox, eyebrows. I had filler in my whole face, probably like 10 milliliters of filler. It was so fucked. I would wake up every single day and my face looked so puffy and my body was rejecting it and I looked horrible. So everyone thinks like when you Google like Mikaela Testa before surgery and it's like these photos, this is when I had everything done. I looked foul, I looked horrible, whatever. I went to the doctor. I got them to dissolve my entire face. I got them to dissolve my nose filler. I booked a nose job, got my nose done. I got a BBL. I dissolved my lips. I got them redone very small. I got all my face dissolved. I was getting skin treatments. I was, getting Botox on my eyebrows to lift them up. I was, I had a different hair color. I was losing weight. Because of the stress, I was looking different. And I went from looking like this photo to this pretty fucking quick. What seemed like overnight, because I wasn't posting during this time. So everyone's just like, oh, what the fuck? Like, she looks so different, da 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 da. And even Alice was talking about how I look different, which is funny. Yeah, girl, I got surgery. I fixed myself up. I didn't want to look like that fucking sister anymore. I looked completely different. I looked way better. I looked more like my natural self, apart from the nose job and the BBL, right? But I mean, like, that filler, that fatty, like, cortisol looking face shit, that was gone. And when I tell you, the healing process for getting all that filler dissolved was absolutely so horrible. My whole face was bruised. As you can see, I had like the light brown hair, and then I would dye my hair black again, because one thing about Anna is she would copy me. And like, look, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, like, Anna was copying me. She was copying me though. Like, I would like dissolve my lips. I'd post a TikTok about it. She'd go and dissolve hers the next week. And then people would comment on my video because they saw her video before mine, but they're not even caring to look at the dates. Like, oh, like, you're copying Anna. Like, I would dye my hair brown. Anna would dye her hair brown. Oh, you're copying Anna. Like, I would go blonde, and then Anna went blonde, and then I would go back to black, and then Anna would go back to black. I'm not trying to say that she was intentional, but it almost seems like it, like, for real. Like, it was like every single thing, it was tit for tat. It was like every time I tried to do something and change something to look different to her, she would have it done too. So it was just like I was never escaping from this rumor that I looked like her sister, because as I said, in the TikTok world, I was already getting hate comments for apparently supposedly copying her anyway, just because we looked the same and we did the same type of content on TikTok. It was just so overwhelming. Even though her entire persona on TikTok wasn't her real fucking persona, and she was fucking stealing all the empathy and shit with Anna. Like, she's not an empath. Like, she's, I don't know at what point I'm talking shit. There's a lot I could say, but it's better to just say as little as possible. I've been told from a very mature, wise person. Not saying she's copying me, but somehow we always ended up with the same hair, and I'd be the one dyeing my hair first and doing these things first. It even got to the point where she was booking secret nose jobs and secret BBLs with my surgeons behind my back, to the point where Glenn would accidentally bring it up in what seemed like an accident in the kitchen. Like, oh, what about that, like, BBL appointment? And then I'd be like to Anna, are you getting a BBL? Because, like, when your friend's getting a fucking giant surgery like a BBL and you've just gone through it, you're going to say, like, oh my God, are you doing that? Like, excited. But she was, like, annoyed at Glenn that Glenn kind of said it. And she's like, yeah, like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, you didn't mention it. It was just very strange. It was just weird. And the nose job situation too, that was the almost identical story that I just said. There's always secret animosity, secret jealousy. It was always me and her fighting for her brother's attention. Like, this was the whole time. So I always just felt this underlying sensation of mean from her. Anna and Vildan, I don't want to call her mama. She's not my mama anymore. She never was, but anyway. But I just call her that because, as I said, Hans and Vildan, they're very ethnic names, like, from Germany. And at the time when I was living at the house, when I couldn't speak German, they obviously spoke German in the house 24/7, and I couldn't pronounce their names. So I would just say, Mama and Papa. So Anna and Vildan would talk shit about me behind my back, sometimes even right in front of me in German. Already told you guys that. Addis would later tell me some of the things that they would say, obviously, trying to coerce me into being like, thinking that he's somehow different and that we need to run away and escape and eventually get away from them and we can have a happy life together, where you're still taking 50% of my income. And one of the days where I actually did say something to Anna was when we were in Thredbo and we were skiing and we were driving in the car, and I was so excited because I was going to see snow. And, me and Atis were so happy in the back seat. And Atis had told Anna that day that he didn't want to ski. He wanted to spend some time with me and spend time in the snow. Anna was pissed. She always needed his attention and stuff. So she was just in a bad mood, knowing that Atis wasn't going to be coming and skiing with her and Glenn and Mama and Papa or whoever else was there. And that he was going to be spending the day with me. So she was talking shit about me in German right in front of my face in the car, calling me annoying, saying I'm ruining the trip or whatever else she said. I can't remember now. But I remember when they spoke in German, because it was for a little sec, Attis just became a completely different person, quite reserved. So I wondered what had been said, but, you know, obviously found out later. He cried to me and said that night we should run away and we never have to be around Anna and Mama again. Like, she was just comfortable with talking shit about me in German. It was just a normal thing. Like, of course, her friend Jilly, which was from her hometown, that owns a hairdressing salon in Bribey Island, which is amazing, by the way. I've gone to her salon now after the breakup, and I've got this really fucking cool red hair from her email. Yeah, so obviously, like, I had been hanging around her because Anna would invite me out with her. Anna needed me. She needed me for the content. Like, yes, she would talk shit about me and she underlyingly hated my guts and, like, wanted her brother all to herself and, like, was jealous of me and stuff like that. But she needed me for content. She needed something to film. Like, what's a TikTok account? What's a TikToker like her and a vlogger without having all the family around and acting like it's this big happy family and like doing all these fun activities and doing all these nice things for my brother's girlfriend and buying her all these gifts.
It was Michaela's birthday a couple of days ago, so I'm going to buy her a bunch of stuff and put it all on her bed for her to come home to.
While simultaneously talking shit about her. Like, what is it without that? So this is a voice message from Jilly, which is a woman that I didn't really know very well. I only knew her when Anna would bring her around me.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, definitely at the time, obviously because I was persuaded by Anna that to have this, I guess, opinion of you, like, and just like, I think it really clicked for me one night. We went to like Mount Cootha or something, and just listening to the way that she spoke about you just made me like, I honestly don't know why I didn't see the fucking red flags then, but just like the way she was talking about you and stuff, I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck? This is your brother's girlfriend. And not only that, like, you are so fake to her face. Like, what is going on? Like, honestly, that should have been the point where the penny fucking dropped for me. But I think also I saw like the real side of you when I saw you when you went with Addis and you came and got your hair done and whatever, and like I was like, dude, she's a completely different person. And like even some of the shit Mama would say about you, like, I hope this does not say you, but she would be like,
I don't even want to play the rest of it because it's quite mean about the shit Mama would say about me. Yeah, see, like, I knew it though. Like, what? Like, oh my God, I'm so shocked. Like, I'm not shocked. I knew it because she'd say so much shit about this woman too, Jilly. She'd say so much shit about her, like, act like it's a chore to hang out with her. Anyway, she'd invite this lady over to like film and like hang out and make content and stuff, and then act like it's a chore when Jilly's on the way. Like, I'm just so sick of it. Like, I don't even want to hang out. Like, I don't even want to do anything. And it's just like, okay, but you like invited her, and it's like I don't know, just weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, you can just see like this video here of like me, Anna, Mama. It's like all for the camera. They would talk so badly about me, but this is what would get posted. So like, although I knew damn well that she was saying bad things about me, I just didn't know what she was saying. Did I care? Actually did. I was kind of like in a position where I was constantly chasing validation from Anna and Mama because I didn't want to be the one that they spoke shit about. I didn't want to be the one where it was being judged. I wanted to be deemed as cool in their eyes. So I was just, I don't know, I was a people pleaser. Anytime I featured in Anna's content, there'd be comments, so much comments of just hate towards me, but like none towards Addis. And it was always really concerning to me because it always seemed like she must have deleted all the hate comments about Addis, because my content, I received so much hate about Addis, so much, and I'd be sitting there deleting them for him. But on her page, there was top comments with like 20k likes, you know, making fun of the way I'm chewing the crumble cookie or whatever the fuck in her content. And it would be like left up. It'd be like up on her page still. You'd open the comment section, it's all hate about me, first 4 comments, and they're all fucking liked, hella clouted up on the likes. So, you know, it just made me feel shit. I had low self-esteem. I didn't want to be in her content anymore because these comments, it was kind of like I always caught strays whenever I'd appear in her content. So, yeah, I started to see, you know, I was just becoming less and less willing to be in her content, and I would see like comments saying, you know, she just seems so like stuck up and like she doesn't talk and she doesn't do anything and she's just like in the background of Anna's content and da 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 da. And it's like, if you guys only knew the real reason why I'm sitting here fucking in the background, I don't want to be in the limelight. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I don't want this fucking shit. Like, I don't want it. But yeah, as I said, she would always delete the comments about her rapist brother, but you know, she'd never delete the comments about me. Yeah, there was like theories about me that I thought I was too good for the family. I was too good for Anna. And like, I think I'm too good. I'm too pretty, because, you know, Anna would post photos of like rolls and body positivity all over TikTok. Like, she's a body positive content creator, when in person, she's not fucking body positive, because she's calling her boyfriend fat and she's getting the whole house to do intermittent fasting. She's calling Jilly her dumb fat hairdresser friend to Bailey. Like, she's not who she is online. But like, to me, that's just, of course, a given. But as a viewer right now, you just don't even know. Like, you just don't know her. And as I said in my original video, you think you know Anna, but you don't know her. You've never met her. You don't know the real Anna like I know her. When I traveled with Anna and Atis and Glenn, I just noticed that Anna got a really big kick out of seeing me sad and seeing me have problems with Atis and seeing me upset. It was very, very weird to witness. It would be like, she would book the whole trip, of course, to go on. She'd book the whole entire trip. But she'd book my seat sitting somewhere else on the plane. Like, I don't want to go into too much detail because, as I said before, like, at what point am I just rambling and talking shit about things that, like, don't really matter? Like, of course they matter. And of course it goes to show her character of what she was willing to do to put me down and make me feel sad and make me not perform and make me not film vlogs and make me be sad on the trips and have me have hate comments. But, like, it's just not worth explaining. Like, I just don't care. Let's just get to the real shit. Oh, yeah. Let me just mention this. I always felt like she was in competition with me. You know, she was in competition with me with the likes and views on TikTok and also just, like, the boyfriend's attention. It was always like, oh, how did your vlog do today? You know, just if my views were good, she was sad. If my views were shit, she was happy. It was just, like, you know, like that. And she was always, like, fighting with me about Addis because it was like, you know, we're both fucking the same vloggers. It's like, I want to do this food review with Addis, but she wants to do we're eating the same food. She wants to do food review with Addis. Like, you have Glenn, like, but she wants Glenn and Addis in her content. So I'm supposed to do what? Be in her video too? Like, just so I can have hate? Like, no thanks. So Anna would do really weird things, like to start fights between Addis and I. I remember she, like, went on Jeanette Guzman. So this was way back when now. This was like 2020. She went on Jeanette Guzman's Instagram. And obviously Jeanette Guzman was a big problem for Addis and I, and I'm going to get into it in a minute with the BBL and all the fucking shit. I've made videos on TikTok about this before. If your boyfriend likes photos and videos of girls with huge butts on the internet, then this video is for you. But my ex-boyfriend would like photos of Jeanette Guzman, the Instagram model. When I discovered this, and we had just started dating, when I discovered this, I would cry every night. I would devalue myself. And she went on her Instagram profile. She scrolled down on a photo. She screenshotted a photo of Jeanette Guzman. And in bold, it said liked by Addis Pool. So it was like a photo that was a little bit down her Instagram. You know, she found one. She screenshotted it, put it on her story and said, I just bought the same bikini. Like, I hope I look like her. And it was just like the way it was cropped on her story was like in big, bold writing, liked by Addis Pool. And it was like fat body, BBL butt. Like, it's kind of just like posting on her story like Addis is liking other half-naked photos of other women. And my fucking DMs were blowing up. My DMs were blowing up like, oh my God, your man's liking this. Like, even my friend Bailey sent it to me like, what the fuck is this? And I just said, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, anyways, while this got posted, we were all sitting at the old Pimentori house and we were sitting around a fire. We were doing like marshmallows and stuff on the fire, and I just start to get really reserved and quiet, obviously, while we're all talking, because Anna just posted that. And I saw it and I was just like getting so upset that I like went upstairs, sorry. When Addis finally came upstairs, which was after like an hour and a half or whatever the fuck, I said to Addis, I don't like that you like other girls' Instagram photos. I've already told you about this. I don't like it. And he said, like, I'm so sorry, because obviously I was crying. I was visibly upset. I was distraught. I was sick of it. And I was just like, and your sister, like, she's posting this on her story. Like, I just feel like I know what she's doing. Addis said that he agrees because she said, oh, why did Mikaela go upstairs? Did she go upstairs because of my story? And it's just kind of like, why would I go upstairs because of your story? Like, you knew what you were doing. Okay. Oh my God. I'm rambling. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get to the real shit. But as I said, just trying to instigate, trying to stop, whatever. Some of the other things Atis told me that Anna said about me were that I'm ugly. So you can really see my eyes here. One of the things that Anna told Atis about me was that I'm ugly and that my eyes are too close together. Okay. And obviously, when Atis finally told me that she had said this about me, I knew it was true. I knew it was true because when she met my sisters when I was there, so this was like into the relationship when I was already living in the house with them, she had made like a really weird, obscure comment to me and my siblings, like, oh, like, yeah, like I can see that you guys are siblings and you guys are related because you guys all have the same eyes, like a little too close together, right? And when she said that comment, I laughed it off. I was like, yeah, like it's cute, whatever. Like it's cute, like, right? It's like doll eyes. So whatever, obviously backhanded compliment, or it wasn't even a compliment, I don't think. Obviously, it's such a niche thing to say too. Like, it's so niche. Like, oh yeah, you guys have eyes that are too close together. Like, I know I have close-set eyes. I've been dealing with this insecurity now ever since this bitch mentioned it. And you know what? I think it's pretty. I think it looks cute. It makes you look young, feminine, and cute, and doll-like, and Tim Burton. And I don't give a fuck. But I'm gonna speak in past tense when I tell the story here. So yeah, like let me backtrack. So after that comment about my sisters and me having close-set eyes got made, so prior to Atis telling me that she had called me ugly and said that my eyes were too close together, Anna's just a shit talker, right? She's just sitting always in the lounge room. Like, this is just so normal to me, but this is going to be shocking to you guys to hear, but it's just Anna, okay? She'll be scrolling in the lounge room, bumming around, swiping through her For You page on full sound. Atis is on the other side of the couch. They're sitting there talking shit, laughing, whatever. It was just, that's the norm, all right? I'm setting the scene. So yeah, like anytime someone would pop up on the For You page, like her and Atis would just like take the piss out of them, right? Two of the main people that Anna and Atis would take the piss out of on social media were Sofa Dofa, okay, and this is going back to the blue corset days. So like after the blue corset thing happened, after she gained a following, and Jack Cooper. And I'm so sorry, Jack Cooper, but I sat in the fucking kitchen and you know what? I've heard it multiple times. I'm pretty sure there was a time at Korean barbecue as well, where I just heard Atis making such homophobic, disgusting remarks about you. And I was cracking up laughing. Like, of course, she's also saying shit as well. Just like being really rude, calling you like a weird super fan and all this fucked up shit. So when I saw you hanging out with Anna and Atis Pool at the Stacks event, I unfollowed you. And because I just didn't want to see it, because it just broke my heart to see like someone that loves him so much. Obviously, you love Anna and you don't try to hide that on social media, particularly a couple of years ago. To see these people like hanging out with you then just like really fucking pissed me off. And I just had to unfollow you. And that's why I did that. And I'm pretty sure you unfollowed me too. I forget. Or maybe you unfollowed me first. I don't know what happened. But another person that they would talk so much shit about was Sofa Dofa. All right. Sofa Dofa and I were mutuals. And I had been really watching her content on her story. She was kind of sick with lupus at the time, on and off back in these days. And she was posting about it, being really active and talking about like her illness. And she was posting her mum a lot and just like really cute stuff. And I low-key was a fan. I was following her content and we, as I said, we were mutuals, and I kind of felt really empathetic towards her, more like I wanted to protect her, and I had hoped that we would meet and hang out one day and become friends. I was mutuals with a lot of influencers on TikTok. And back in this era, Anna didn't fuck with anybody. She didn't want to follow anyone back. She started to do that more around like 2022, but she was just so closed off to like another influencer doing vlogs, especially the Clarks. Like, she'd always say remarks about how they're copying her and all this fucked up shit. I don't know if she follows them now, but she'd always be talking shit about Kat Clark and the Clarks too. But I just hate being the one that just says the shit. But you know what, Anna, you have to own up for it now. You're gonna have to own up for it. One fucked up thing. So I was in the kitchen, and this was after the lupus. This was after I had become mutuals and all this. So I'd already been hearing shit about her already with the Glassons corset. And I'm being like, I don't know why she has so much fucking views. She's so boring, this, that. And this was always a conversation between Atis and Anna. I would never really engage in these conversations. I was always a bystander, and that's even worse. Being a bystander is even worse. If you want to comment something like, Mikaela, you're a little rat, you should have done something, do it. Like, please. But I fucking did. I did something this time, and I'm going to say it. So Atis and Anna were sitting next to each other, and Anna was scrolling on her For You page. Atis was scrolling on his For You page. A Sofa Dofa video pops up on Atis's phone. He turns it up real loud, and it's her doing a vlog. She's talking. Anna said some shit like, I don't know why she's just like trying to copy my content, da 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 da. And then she said something about how she's so ugly and her eyes are too close together, and she doesn't even want to watch videos of her talking, and she's so sick of it. Atis was laughing, cracking up. I don't even know what else he said. He was just like, just entertaining that fact. So when I heard that comment about Sofa Dofa having eyes that were too close together and she's so ugly, at this time Atis hadn't told me that she had said this about me yet. I was like, oh, well, Anna said something about me and my sisters having eyes that were too close together, but she kind of masked it as like a maybe a possible compliment. So when I heard that, I was just like, ew, like, oh, like she thinks that about me. Like, does she think I'm ugly too? And like, that's when I started to really, I was doing something and I was really getting angry. I was getting angry. I was sick of it. I felt like it was an attack to me. I felt like she was taking the piss out of me with Atis too, because like, I don't know, I kind of had suspected that maybe she was saying shit about me because she had already said something about Erica Titus and her close-set eyes too. But anyways, I just started to feel really fucking annoyed because of it. Like, I was just annoyed. Like, is this an attack on me? Like, she already said I had close-set eyes. It's fucked. So I called her out. I said, she has lupus. She's a nice girl. She's my friend. Like, I'm sick of this shit. And I know Glenn remembers it too, because he was in the kitchen kind of doing his own thing too with the pantry. And I kind of like lashed out, if you will. And I stormed upstairs. And I remember Atis texting me saying, like, you're such an embarrassment. Like, you speak to me like that in front of my family. Like, you're crazy. You're insane. Da 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 da. Because, again, after all this shit with Alice, I probably wasn't a good person to be around. I was vocal. I was angry. I was woke, if you will. I was woke. I was somebody that, like, you don't want to say that joke around Mikaela because she's gonna fucking say something like, oh, like, watch out. Like, that was the energy, the vibes after this incident as well. And not only that, but I was just more vocal. I was more willing to stand up to Anna's shit, and I was more willing to call shit out publicly too. She'd say that about her, which is so fucking interesting. I had heard Anna, and I'm not familiar with these influencers, Erica Titus and Kirsten Titus or something like that. I'm not familiar with their type of content. I just know that Anna took a lot of inspiration from those girls, and I would hear her name being rattled off. So I was listening to Atis and Anna talking about how they're going to do this fruit cutting video. I don't know if it's really random, something about avocado and milk, something about fruit. Don't know. And then they were talking about how Erica's eyes are so close set. Like, it wasn't Anna was talking about it, and she said, oh my God, her eyes are so fucking close together too. Like, ha 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 ha. And then I noticed that Anna had looked at me while she kind of said that. And then she looked at Addis, and then she looked down, and she had like this little smile on her fucking face. And I just thought, this woman is trying to fucking hurt me. She's trying to make me feel insecure. She's trying to beat me down because I have close set eyes. She's talking shit about Sophie Dover having close set eyes and calling her ugly. She's calling Erica Titus ugly and saying her eyes are close set. It's so fucking weird. And what the kicker is for me, obviously, I'm a fucking bystander to all of this, right? This broke me down. I never said anything. I never said anything about the Erica stuff. I just kind of like, I saw her look at Addis, and I knew like I was sitting there. I was a close set eye girly too. I just like walked away, and I was weak, and I didn't want to say anything at the time. But when I tell you, I started like going on my phone, getting really insecure, looking at myself in the mirror, drawing eyeliner. That's when the eyeliner started coming on my face, because I'm sure people that are familiar with my content, stands that have stanned me this whole time, know for damn sure that I never wore eyeliner like that. And I started to aggressively wear this big, dark, long eyeliner, because when I tell you I was so insecure about my close-set eyes, I would do anything to try and make them look a little bit different or something like that. Yay, all right. Sorry, I had to take a break. I had to switch the card over. We were talking about how, Anna would play these little games. Well, what it seemed like a game with mentioning a so-called flaw that she claims or thinks that I have, which obviously I do have close-set eyes, to try and make me feel like shit by mentioning the flaw about other women, such as Sophie Dover and Erica Titus. No word of a lie. I'm putting my hand on the fucking Bible when I say that.
Oh my God, like she'll just like say like nasty shit, and it catches me off guard. I'm like, yeah, that one fucked up because I was coughing. But what I meant to say was, like, once you put eyeliner on and some concealer, it's all good. And yeah, I just felt like shit for so long because I just felt like she was doing it on purpose. And like, she would just randomly be like show a random photo of like someone random and be like, her eyes are so fucking close together, it's so ugly, like in front of Atis and I. And I just feel like, it's such a weird thing to bring up, and such a picky thing, because it's not even that bad. And are you saying it to try and make Atis like not think I'm,
calling those girls ugly and stuff, to try and make me feel ugly, to try and make me feel bad about myself? It was so strange. And that's when I fucking knew this woman's malicious. This woman is a malicious, insecure, jealous person. But at the same time, I just had so much focus on these insecurities that I would have done anything to try and change my fucking eyes. I drew this eyeliner on. I went and got filler at a clinic in, I don't even know where. You can literally Google it too. Filler in my eyelids. I was booking surgeries in Turkey, which obviously I never went and got done. But I remember I booked a surgery, like a eyebrow pulling thing, like something that's gonna try and make my skin on this side not look as puffy, so that my eyes look less close set. Some fucked shit like that, some obscure weird surgery for people on Reddit that have this fucking thing. I was literally on Reddit looking at anything possible, looking at any answers that I could do to fix my close-set eyes, because in my eyes, they were ugly, and my eyes were so ugly. And, Anna couldn't even look at a video of Sophie Dover because her eyes are so close-set and ugly. So why would Anna want to look at me? That's what was going through my head. It sounds so pathetic. So I remember one night I, had told Addis that I booked this surgery in Turkey, but I didn't want to tell him what it was because I never told him about my closed set eyes insecurity because at this time yet, I hadn't told him. Because when you mention something about yourself and then you make other people come aware of it. So even me coming here on camera right now to talk about my goddamn closed set eyes, which was a big problem for me like quite some years ago now, is like even still a little bit weird for me to say on camera because now I might get clowned by people in the comments and it's somewhere where it hits home. But I'm in such a healthy place in my brain right now with my fucking eyes that I don't care about saying that. I told Addis that I was getting the surgery done in Turkey. And when I told him that I was getting the surgery done in Turkey, he said, I'm ridiculous. He said, why would you fucking do that? You're beautiful. I don't care what Anna says. Like, I love you the way you are. So when he said like, oh, like, I don't care what Anna says, like, obviously I kept pressing him and he's told me that Anna had said that about me. She had called me ugly and she had said that my eyes are close set, but he doesn't care. And his ex has close set eyes, which is Alice Patterson, and that he doesn't give a fuck about close set eyes or something like along those lines. I cannot remember now. He said something about my eyes being beautiful and that not to worry about it. Of course, I continued to worry about it. What pissed me off the fucking most. So I'm on a yacht in Ibiza, right? Quite some time after the breakup. This is a little story now. I'm on a yacht in Ibiza. I'm with some of my friends from social media that I had just met and we're having a ball. And then one of my friends gets a call from another friend and then they put me on the phone and I'm talking to this girl and she's at a Stacks event and she tells me that she sees Addis and Sofa Dofa in the corner talking and what looks like they're alone and they're just flirting and they've been in the corner the whole night. They're only talking to each other, like Anna, Atis and Sofa's mom and Anna's mom, whatever. They're all just only together and not like mingling with anyone else. And then I was like, well, can you tell me more? Like, what does it look like flirting? Da 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 da. Because obviously Atis and I had broken up. It was this big thing on the internet. Sofa was messaging me saying like, I hope you're okay, doll, da da da. And, obviously I hadn't told anyone anything that Anna or Atis had said about her. But the first thing that went to my mind is this little fuck Addis. And Anna, the fake bitch, sorry to say, are fucking hanging out with this 18-year-old Sofa Dofa, this girl that I absolutely love and adore and love her content. But I know they don't fucking like this girl. And what do I have to see? Clips on fucking TikTok the next day of Atis and Sofa at Luna Park with Anna and Sofa's mom and Anna's mom. And it's like paparazzi shots or whatever it is. And I'm just like, oh my God. So like, not only are they like getting to know each other at this event, they're like talking to each other. People are telling me that it looks like flirting. I've got, photos of them just hanging out at Luna Park all alone, that whole group, all that happening at the same time as like, the internet instigating, making up rumors, da da da. Atis is following like 10 people on Instagram and he decides to follow Sofa Dofa that night and we had been broken up, whatever. I was just like, ew. I'm going to text him because there's just no way he thinks I'm going to let him get away with it. There's no way he thinks I'm going to not say anything, right? So what do? I text Atis and here's the receipts. 139 weeks ago, I sent this to Sofa, by the way. I said to Atis, stay the fuck away from my friends or I will seriously tell them everything that you've ever said. I'm not playing. This is the last warning. Stay the fuck away from Sofa before I tell her everything and anything everybody said, sorry. I had like 40 people from that event tell me everything I need to know because that phone was getting passed around to multiple people. Then I had the TikTok gossip pages coming to DM me. You're a weirdo and I will not let people I care about and are friends with allow a fake fucking family like you into her life. I said that to Atta straight. I had no issue. I wanted to I was so angry. I was like, ill, like after everything I had gone with Atis, by the end of the video, you'll know, with Anna, her fake shit, her horrible shit. I just knew like this family's so fucking fake. They're going to jump onto Sofa now. They're going to eat it up. Anna's going to gain from her. Like, who knows? Maybe she's going to be the next victim, right? Because, as I said, I felt like I was trafficked by this family. He doesn't reply for an entire day. As you can see here, it says yesterday at 8:51 p.m. So then I messaged Sofa and I said, hey babe, can you let me know what's going on? And she responds, what do you mean, Mick? I'm confused. Is this for the wrong person? Which, by the way, Bob, there's so much shit all over TikTok with the Luna Park. Like, you know what I'm coming for. But I love you. It doesn't matter. I said, babe, I've had a few girls message me and call me telling me all different things about things that they've seen and heard about you and Atis at the event. I know girls love drama and exaggerate, so I just wanted to message you directly and ask, babe. Because as I said, she had been messaging me and reaching out to me to make sure I'm okay with the Atis breakup stuff. She says, you know, me and Atis legit just have a convo. Pretty much sums up like me, Glenn, Atis' mum, and my manager were pretty much together all night because we're all pretty introverted, da-da-da-da-da-da. So when I saw that, I was just like, all right, well, I don't care because I know Atis' intentions. I know Sofa Dofa's a pure person. I know that she has no foul play involved, but I know Atis and I know Anna and I know Mama and I know they're fake fucking games. So I just set her straight out. And this was the point where I was going against the loyalty that I had always had for that family. So as I said, I defended this family thick and thin. I defended this family when they were dragging Alice, when they were doing all this fuck shit. I stayed and I was a bystander and all this. But I was kind of, you know, I had been broken up with Atis for a month and a half. But as I said, I was already mentally checked out from when I heard that thing about Alice. So it was like, it took me a while to get to the point of being able to speak and go against them. But it took time. And even now, this is the first time where I'm publicly coming out against them. Like before, it was just like, oh, I just stole my crypto. Didn't tell you any other details, but now I'm just going all out. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, I said, babe, I've sat through conversations you weren't there for and I've had your back in those moments. I just want you to know that I know to look out for yourself. It was almost shocking to see you even hanging out with them because of the things I've heard. Just watch out, babe. Didn't tell her details, of course. I'm not going to tell her like what was said, but I did say, you know, girl, she asked me like, oh, what was it? I said, girl, it's a whole lot of nasty, nasty things and I've had your back this entire time. I messaged Atis in shock and he didn't respond. You need to protect your energy, babe. Be very wary because people are not who they portray themselves online. But I'm sure you know that. If you think you have a friend in any of the polls, I'm telling you that you don't because I have defended your name more than I can count on both hands in that house. Nasty, horrible things have been said and it even brought insecurities upon myself, which I have struggled with from just hearing these things. I followed you and supported you for so long. You're killing it and it saddened me so much seeing that because I was extremely worried for you. Of course, these messages were in 2022, so my story has always fucking stayed the same. Anna Paul said those things about Sofa Dofa. Atis engaged in all of that and participated in all of that, particularly about Erica Titus too. So it was really disgusting to, you know, see that. Sofa responds, you know, she says like, I'll be careful. So I assume like, you know what, she's a big girl. I'm going to let her do it. Whatever. Of course, you know, Atis starts calling her, FaceTiming her, trying to start a friendship, trying to start rumors on TikTok.
Sophia, aka Sofa Dofa, and Atis Paul on FaceTime.
Sofa texts me and she says, hey, BB, don't know if you've seen the TikToks, but I just wanted to thank you for warning me about Atis because we had a FaceTime where he was showing me his furniture. Then today I've woken up to so much unnecessary drama after a video he made with me on FaceTime in the corner. Even though you warned me, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt and it feels shit when you do that and still get brought into drama. The whole thing is stupid anyway because we just met and barely knew each other. Anyway, just wanted to thank you for warning me and I hope you're okay. Next time we're in the same state, let's hang out. And I saw it. Like Atis had staged this entire like FaceTime call, which, you know, as I said, he barely knew this girl. I mean, as she said, they barely knew each other. They just met. He's trying to like paint this thing like, look, I'm secretly on FaceTime with Sofa to like get the comments talking, to like get some shit going, to like, I don't know, make people talk. So yeah, anyway, so I just told her like in the voice messages, like, of course, like he's a little fuck. Like, don't trust him. Like, don't trust that family. I don't remember what else I said. I would have said something. But I remember her specifically telling me that back in the day, like obviously this voice message, something about like how he doesn't even like text or call. And like the one time that is that it ended up on the TikTok and it was all set up. It just looked staged for comments and drama. And she just didn't want to be part of it. So she unfollowed his ass. And I was like, woohoo. Okay, he can't use and abuse an 18-year-old girl that's just literally blown up and like is doing so well for herself. And I was very happy. Like, whatever. So obviously, this fucking story with the eyes is a bit outlandish, right? It's a bit niche. It's a bit fucked. I had made a video actually in 2023. As I said, this was an insecurity of mine, girl. It was bad. It was still affecting me after the fucking breakup. And this was a video I posted in 2022 in October. I want you guys to watch it. I was talking about Anna, but nobody knew. My eyes are literally my biggest insecurity, and there's a lot of these comments right now on my last video, and I can't help but just feel like everybody's playing like this big practical joke on me. You know when like a friend says something about something of your features and you just think about it forever and it eats you up alive, and you do everything in your power to just like obsess over that thing and like change it. Like I'm literally brought to tears right now because I used to live with a girl that would say things about the way I looked, and I've carried it with me now for a year, and it's been eating me up inside ever since. So I make sure I never be seen without eyeliner. So I really love these comments. It's making me feel... What do you know? Right after that video gets posted, Sofa sends me my video, which obviously it looks like a black screen in this screenshot because I had archived it because I just didn't want the drama up, and I thought, fuck, Anna's gonna see this and she knows, you know. And I was just like getting cold feet, you know, do I say something? Do I don't? Oh, I'm so angry. Yes, I want to say something. Oh, yes, like whatever. She said, Mika, I can't get over how pretty you are. And I just know it's like an underlying girl code situation, telepathic, where I knew she knew that I was talking about Anna, and the eyes, like I knew she kind of put the puzzle pieces together, and I really appreciated her just being there for me when I fucking needed someone. Thank you so much. And I love her. She's still is a mutual of mine to this day, always, you know, still commenting, being nice and lovely and hard eyes on my stuff. And I really fucking appreciate it. One thing about the internet now that is like a digital footprint moment for me that is always going to fucking follow me is this goddamn BBL. All right. This goddamn BBL, because when I first got my BBL, I wasn't honest. I lied. I didn't tell people that I had a BBL. I didn't want to tell people I had a BBL because the timeline was I had so much fucking hate, as I deserved, from all of the people that were defending Alice Patterson, all of the people that were doing the very thing that I should have been doing. But yes, as I said, the internet was very ugly. The internet was very mean. I was already losing so much weight. I was already struggling. I just did not in that moment want to come out and say that I had a BBL, but people were kind of being like, something's going on with her. She looks different. And while there is truth to me having an ED because I wasn't eating, that is true. I was not eating and I had lost a lot of weight, but that wasn't the sole reason why I looked different. However, my face was disheveled, my arms were sticks. I mean, like I looked visibly not right, which people just will carry that to the ends of the earth and say like, oh, like she completely lied, like she completely blames it on an ED, da 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 da. But like I had mentioned that I had an ED, not like, I can't remember if I said that I looked different because I had been sick or whatever. But people mix the words up. It's Chinese whispers. It's like, listen, like give me the chance. Like I didn't even get the chance to be able to sit and properly say like a full story. Like I wasn't ready to talk yet. Like give me a sec. All right. And I'm going to give you the backstory. Previously, before the BBL, there was discussion between Atis and I and Anna about what I'm going to do because obviously I'm going to look so different and it's going to be this big thing. Atis was telling me that he did not want me to tell anybody about the BBL because, I quote, the Kardashians don't ever admit to plastic surgery and it just looks better. It just looks cooler if you don't admit to having surgery. So, of course, I'm like, oh, yeah, but like I would get a lot of views on TikTok if I like vlogged my whole thing. I felt like, you know, those girls that were on YouTube and they would like vlog and like it was a whole big moment and like, you know, they would have it on documentation and like they can look back in a couple of years or whatever. Like that was my mindset. I was not giving a fuck if I lied or covered it up because as I said, I was already getting my lips dissolved, getting my lips filled. I was already doing shit on social media that was like suggesting that I'm comfortable with getting stuff done and posting about getting stuff done. But it got to the point where I just thought, oh, it's just embarrassing. Like it's just a BBL. Like you don't want to tell people that you have something like that done. Like you'll never hear the end of it. Like yada, yada, yada. Obviously, you know, it was a couple of days to surgery. Anna's talking to me about how I'm going to, like, what I'm going to do about it and stuff. And I said, well, I'm not going to tell anyone because Atis said he's going to break up with me if I do, because that's the point we got to. And we already know Atis is abusive and, like, does these things. So, of course, I'm just like, yeah, well, I can't tell anyone, like whatever. And Anna told me then and there, she said, do not lie about your BBL. People are just going to find out. It just looks way cooler if you're honest. People will hate you. And I said, yeah, I know. But I'm going to try my best to cover it up. So I don't know what to say. Like, I just said he's going to leave me if I tell people. So in my mind, I was thinking that I was going to be able to like convince him to like allow me to say it on the internet, like at some extent, which I was. So I need to talk about why I even got the BBL done. So the reason why I got a BBL is because of negging. So as I brought up earlier, Jeanette Guzman, which is this very beautiful Fashion Nova model, you know, she's posting up, big butt, big everything, looks so beautiful. Atis, that was Atis's favorite Instagram model. He would like all of her photos, repost them on his story. Like, this was before we were kind of dating and stuff like that, but he would still actively like and all of her stuff while us being together. So he would make very weird comments, like, and I'll explain what negging is actually first so you can understand.
Negging is a type of emotional manipulation. When somebody gives backhanded compliments and comments and insults the other person and tries to disguise them as constructive criticism. What it does is it makes somebody feel vulnerable and question themselves. People that neg usually have really low self-esteem. They feel like they need to put somebody else down so that other person is constantly trying to seek their approval, and that makes them have some self-worth. Some examples include, wow, I'm surprised you're as funny as my ex. You're a lot smarter than I thought you would be. Your best friend is in great shape. You should take some advice from her. You're so pretty when you have makeup on. If you are ever involved with somebody who's doing this, it's time for you to run as fast as fucking possible. Nothing you do is going to change them. It's only going to add fuel to the fire.
Negging is when somebody, you know, kind of like subtly will put you down, maybe disguise it as a joke, maybe to try and, you know, make you feel insecure about yourself. So then you start to question who you are and you start to think them of being higher when in reality they're just as bad, if not worse, than what you look. Anyways, we were in this dynamic of a relationship where he was the better one because he would kind of like put me down subtly, and then I thought, you know, he was better than me because of the amount of manipulation that was going on here. When in reality, I would post a video with this man and look at my comment section and everyone is saying like, oh, he must be rich. Oh, how's he done that then? With hundreds of thousands of likes on it. And I just like somehow don't see the truth. Anyways, he'd make comments about big butts. He would follow all these Fashion Nova models. He'd make me feel insecure about myself with little comments. And I got a BBL because of my insecurities. And he was so excited when I booked my BBL. So like, I never wanted to like turn around. Like, even though I was so scared of this light threatening surgery, I never wanted to turn around and be like, I'd not get it, even though I was fucking scared because he was so excited for the BBL. I got my surgery done. I didn't feel comfortable with sharing it right away online as you would when you first get a BBL. That's like 12 weeks of healing. So painful, one of the most painful things, especially lipo, just horrible. He was still saying that like it just looks more cool if you don't acknowledge plastic surgery. It got to the point where Anna had made a vlog and accidentally filmed the BBL chair in the back of the fucking video. And it's actually so funny now, like looking back, because did she do that on purpose? If she did, like, fuck you, but also like thank you, because I had to come out and say something then. So when that BBL chair, that big blow up pink BBL chair, I'm sure it's on TikTok, like you can find it. When that got posted and my shit got clocked, I just said like, yeah guys, I have liposuction, and then I got like something put into my hips. So I never like wanted to ever come out and be like, I got a BBL, because I didn't want Atis to be on my case, because Atis was so against me even coming out saying I had the lipo and the hip dip fucking implantation fat transfer, that I wasn't allowed to use the words BBL. So then my surgeon would literally ride or die for me in the comments. Dr. Mitchell Kim on the Gold Coast Cosmos Clinic, Australia, would be riding and dying for me in the comments, arguing with people, being like, so it's a BBL. Because everyone knew my photos on his page because I allowed for him to post me. But obviously it's got no face or whatever, but people were clocking it. And he was riding and dying for me in the comments, being like, so no, it's not a BBL, it's a fat transfer. I love you, Dr. Mitchell Kim. You did not have to ride or die for me in the comments, but I appreciate it so much. You saved my life. You like a little bit lied for me, and I always will appreciate that. But it's a fucking BBL. I got the whole shit done. I couldn't sit down. That's why I had the chair. But, you know, people were believing my little, it's a fat transfer, it's just in the hip. Like, I had cellulite dimples. I put it in my cellulite dimples. I don't know what else I fucking said. I just couldn't say BBL, but I wanted to. And Addis was saying, you're not allowed to say that. It was super embarrassing for me. And only like very, very, very late in the relationship, I think I was in Perth and I did a vlog where I had said, I think it was in 2022 when like Atis and I were literally about to break up. I was in Perth with him and I had said something like, I woke up and something like my body's fake. It was like the first time I had admitted it, and it went so viral. It had like millions of likes on it.
One of my last videos hit the wrong side of TikTok. I had people commenting that I'm using video editing apps. Babes, you're obviously new here. I just have a really good surgeon.
And that was the first time where I admitted that my body was a BBL and fake, and I just started saying it from that moment on. So, and then people think that the first time I admitted to having a BBL was on the White Fox After Hours podcast. That was not the first time I admitted that I had a BBL. That's just not right.
Yes, I've had a BBL. I've had 2 rounds of Brazilian butt lift. I lied about my BBL at the beginning. You know, I was with somebody at the time that was telling me not to tell the truth. So I've always wanted to tell like the truth, but I couldn't, and because I lied once.
But maybe it's just the first time that you remembered or you investigated and found it, because I've been saying I had a BBL done since 2022. I'm pretty sure like January or March. January or Feb. Don't know. Don't care. Who gives a fuck? I have a fucking BBL. Because everybody goes on record saying that I'm a compulsive liar because of that. It's like, dude, I was in a DV situation. This man was telling me I wasn't allowed to say shit or he's going to leave me because it's so embarrassing. And also when you have this man that thinks he's so cool and thinks he's so much cooler than you, and like you're also thinking that you're just not cool and your eyes are fucking too close together and you're so fucking this and that. You're just going to listen. You're just going to listen to whatever he says. Whatever. I did. It's on my fault. Clown me all you want. I don't give a fuck. I've been admitting it at least until 2022. Now, some medications that you get given when you get a surgery like that, like a BBL, is lorazepam, codeine, endone. I had some Restovites, which is just like sleeping pills. You know, also have like half paracetamol, half codeine and stuff like that. I had like a medication drawer next to my bed because obviously when you get a BBL, liposuction, I'm just going to explain in the most simple way possible, is a really sharp, thin metal tube that is boiling hot to the point where it melts your fat while it's in your body. So while it's in your skin, the doctor is like pulling it in and out. It's melting all the fat and simultaneously at the same time cutting and also sucking the fat out. So that's burning you. It's doing a lot of damage. It's probably one of the most painful things for the body. So that's what I had done. And then I had it injected into my butt. It's painful. I had my arms. I had my midsection, 360. I had it all. All right. So fucking painful. I had it all injected into my butt, into my hips. My front butt was so swollen because of like obviously the stomach. He had to take, you know, fat from there. Pain. So painful. So of course they give you some good medication that knocks you out. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but in the past, Addis had been having sex with me while I was asleep, but obviously I wasn't on medication. So I would wake up and I would tell him, hey, like, I just don't feel like it. Hey, stop. Like, I don't like that. Like, whatever. But he would just keep doing it until one night when, obviously before all this BBL shit, I had a decent crack at him and said, like, please don't do that. Like, I really don't like that. Trigger warning for what I'm about to say. This is where I went wrong in the last one because it's just like so messy, the crying into the mic. I'm going to really try and keep my composure here because I don't want to, I just don't want to, you know, be crying and like muffling through the mic. I just need to speak properly and clear. So yes, in the past, we had that stuff, you know, in the past he would like inside me, my body would reject it. I'd catch a UTI, I'd tell him off. And then I kind of got told by a doctor in the past, like, your body doesn't react well and you always get these UTIs. Now, obviously, like, some time had passed and, like, he wasn't really doing that to me at all. Like, I just didn't really give it much thought because it was just, like, something that had just happened and, like, we got over it, whatever, just like everything else that he ever fucking did to me. Except, you know, suicide threats and the abuse was still happening. But anyways. So I started to take, like, my medication that I was told to take for the surgery, which was, like, pain relief. And, you know, it'd make me really drowsy. And like, I just hate pain. I hate being in any type of pain. And when you're sleeping in a bed and you've got your whole stomach and back and everything like fucking lipo to the shit house, it's so painful. You just take the fucking medication. All right. I took the meds and I was taking, like, obviously it's a 12-week healing process. The type of meds that I'd be taking would knock me out and I completely just knocked out. And then I'd wake up the next morning and it was kind of like I'd be drunk. I would have been drunk the night before, as in like it's a blackout. Like you wake up and it's like, oh my God, that was a good sleep. That was a fucking good sleep, you know? But one thing in particular that happened to me towards the end of my BBL healing surgery. So obviously after like 4 weeks, you don't have to wear the goddamn garment anymore. So I wasn't wearing the garment after a few weeks, probably even if, sorry, Dr. Mitchell Kim's going to kill me if he ever hears this. I stopped wearing the garment a little too early because I was so sick of it. Wearing that garment and being in bed was just so miserable. And I was obviously going through so much mental stress from that fucking man and abuse that just like being in bed alone for like 12 weeks straight, because obviously you can't sit on your butt, you can't go outside. It was just horrible. I just didn't want to wear the garment. It was the last thing I wanted to do. So I started to wake up with discharge that looked and smelled like. I started to get insane UTIs and muscle issues with my pee. So I would literally wake up from being in this like completely blackout, pill, medication, BBL, knockout, fucking sleeps. And I'd wake up, and the second I'd stand up and stand next to my bed, you know, to get up and go pee, whatever, there'd be shit dripping down my leg from inside my vagina. Like, it looked like, it smelled like, it's disgusting. It's so foul. And it happened, the first time it happened, I didn't even think it. Like, I didn't think it. I just thought, oh my God, my body's weird. Like, it must be just doing something weird. I mean, girls, we're girls, you know? I just thought, oh, I've never experienced this before, but oh, maybe it happens to everyone, you know? You never think that. You're never going to think it. You're not going to think it. Even though I had experienced him in the past, I just never thought it because, I don't know, you'd think you'd wake up. You'd think you'd know. You'd think you'd have something. You'd think you'd feel something down there that is giving the no signs except for what was dripping down my leg. But what happened is, you know, some days I would have it, some days I wouldn't. But I started to get the UTIs. I would get insane muscle pains, and I started to, like, it was really bad. I'd be in and out of the doctors all the time. I was always in my room. Glenn, Jilly, Anna, Atis thought I was literally faking these recurrent UTIs to get out of hanging out, because Anna would gang up on me, I guess, and try and like spread lies and convince and brainwash Glenn into thinking that I was just lying about these UTIs or exaggerating because I just didn't want to hang out with them or something. So did Jilly. It's all Anna fucking instigating it. I genuinely couldn't leave the bedside in the room because if I didn't have access to a toilet, I would have anxiety because I just have the constant urge to pee. Like, it was so debilitating. Like, I can't even explain. The feeling of these UTIs wasn't just like a normal little UTI. It was an insane one where it was like an infection, like, in my fucking body. And if I couldn't see a toilet with my eyes, I would have anxiety because I'd constantly have to go and pee these little dribbles of piss, and they'd just be like, TMI, I'm not even going to keep going. Yeah, well, Anna's talking shit with Jilly, which is our hairdresser, about how fake I am and how I don't want to come out clubbing and my UTIs are just an excuse. I was getting literally raped by her brother this whole time. The stuff that was dripping down my leg was fucking while I'm knocked out unconscious in bed from this medication that I was taking. As I said, wasn't wearing a garment. I was in bed enjoying my life, laying on my fucking hip when I shouldn't have been because the fat's going to die. You're not supposed to sit down or anything for 12 weeks, but I was so like in pain and miserable that I just, after a certain amount of weeks, I was just like sick of it. So yes, I continued to start waking up with, you know, discharge that looked and smelled like, but I obviously didn't think of it yet until one day I thought, what is that? And I literally said to him, I said, are you doing something to me while I'm asleep? But, you know, because I started to think like, you know, he's done this in the past. Am I like really asleep that I didn't know? Can I not feel it? Am I not waking up? Like, is he doing this to me while I'm asleep and he's literally inside me and I'm getting these fucking infections and it's not going away because he's still doing it? So obviously I had asked Atis if he did something to me and he denied it completely. I just became very suspicious of him because I was suspicious because he hadn't been initiating anything with me, when in reality, the reality of Atis is that he's always initiating. He's a porn addict. He's always fucking trying to get me to do something, like something for him. It's just disgusting. Like, this man's foul. But anyways, I'm Bozo the Clown for staying. But he hadn't initiated and it had been like really long. He was somehow, this is disgusting now, but just somehow satisfied and like wasn't bothering me. Like, he would always be bothering me. And it just seemed fucking sus. You know, it was, a girl knows, all right? So I went to my doctor and I told my doctor everything. I told him about the past, about how he would do that to me, like obviously when I wasn't on medication. And he literally told me to call the cops. Like, the same doctor, I literally still have the same doctor now. And he told me to go to the cops and I didn't go to the police. Newsflash. Hello, I'm an idiot. I didn't go to the police, of course. So obviously after speaking to my doctor, I confronted Addis again and he denied everything. He started, as I said, he started to call me crazy. Like he would call me like names and start to like kind of like literally gaslight and manipulate me into thinking that I've got something wrong with my brain, because I would even consider it that idea when I literally was showing him what was in my hand and I said, this is fucking weird. No. And he was like, I don't know, that's something's up with you. Like da 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 da. And it smelled like, so I took it upon myself to find out for myself. I didn't go to the police. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything logical, did I? So what did I do? I pretended to take my usual sleep meds and I pretended to take it and lay down and go to sleep. So I took it, the fake take, laying down, slowing my breathing down. You know, we're in a spooning position. I'm slowing my breathing down and I'm just laying there with my eyes closed pretending to be asleep, and it's so much effort. Like it's like an hour. It's just so boring. I usually go on my phone, I usually do shit, but no, I just pretended. And when I fucking tell you, this man was so calculated and disgusting. I've never experienced something so disgusting before, but I should have fucking known. I should have known. He slowly puts his hand on my shoulder to see like if I would respond or react or move to his movement. I'm presuming. I don't know I don't know what his intentions were with that, but I can guess, right? So then he puts his hand on my shoulder and he's just kind of like sitting up a little bit. Like, as I said, we were sprinting before. He was sitting up a little bit, kind of staying stagnant for a bit. It was a bit too long. I just knew something was up and I got uncomfortable. I started to think in my head when he did that, like, oh, what the fuck, you know? So I was doing the slow breathing and then he like starts to take my pants off really slowly. Really fucking slow, really slow. And by this point, you guys, obviously, I knew what was about to happen. I knew it had already been happening. To me alone, that was confirmation to me. I knew exactly what had been happening to me. I wasn't fucking crazy. I was getting sick. I was bleeding into a toilet. I was having these insane fucking issues. I was bedridden because of this fucking man, and he was lying to my face and was fucking raping me. I need to let it get to the point where I can physically... This man would gaslight and manipulate me into thinking that Anna wasn't making fun of me in front of my face all the time, make me think I'm crazy. So I had to let it get a step far so I can literally fucking catch it in the act. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what he could be doing with the pants? That's the type of way he would gaslight me. So I let it get far. So he took my pants off fully, around the ankles, off the toes, so careful, so quiet, so everything. But of course, like when I take my sleeping pills, he must have been doing this. I didn't wake up. I had no idea, nothing. No, I have no memories, nothing, no recollection, zilch. The only thing is waking up and having in the underwear. So obviously, fake took the pill. Pants are off. He's spitting into his hand. He's like making noises with spit. Like I obviously didn't see it with my own eyes. I can hear the shit. What is he doing? He's putting it on himself and then he starts to slip it, like goes back into the spoon position real fucking slow, starts to slip it in a little bit. I wait until it's just in a little bit. It's just in a little bit, okay? When I tell you I jump up out of the fucking bed, and I've never seen this man more startled than this before. I've never seen him more fucking startled than this. I jump up first, then he jumps up and I said, what the fuck are you doing? I knew it was you. I fucking knew you were doing this to me. This is why I'm sick. I was crying. I was a mess. I was like, you don't give a fuck about me. You don't care about my well-being. You know I'm bleeding into the toilet. You know I'm on all this medication. You know your sister's been saying lies about me, saying it's fake. Like, you are so evil and fucked. And you know what this man did? I need a drink of water. He gaslit me to my face. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? What's going on? I was asleep. I was next to you. And I said, I fucking didn't take a sleeping pill tonight. I'm not asleep. I waited until this moment. I was never asleep. Atis, I know what you're doing. I know what you've done. He's like, you're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. All this drama at nighttime. It's always drama with you. Like, the full gaslighting situation. All right? Like never admitting it. Acting like I'm crazy. And I guess over time, when you have someone in your ear telling you you're so crazy, you start to believe it. But I didn't fucking believe it. I didn't fucking believe it a bit. I knew that he was fucking doing that to me. And I said, if you ever fucking do something like that to me again, I'm going to go to the fucking cops. And at this time, all the allegations, like, you know, they were still they were still going. Like, the internet was still pissed. Like, we were just like not addressing it, you know, like Anna's typical, oh, like we've done our video, like let's never address it again. I had already said that he had been known to do this to me in the past, like way back, even in 2019 and 2020 when I'd be asleep. He has some sort of weird porn addiction kink or something to do with that, because when I tell you his new girlfriend said the same story to me, almost identical story, no medication or anything involved. This man's sick. He has some sort of sleep fetish, something, and he doesn't even like to tell the person he's doing it to. It's disgusting. It's sick, twisted. I don't know. He's a danger to society. And in Australia, our justice system is shit. You have to pay $50 to be able to view if a person is a sexual predator. You're not going to be able to know. So this woman willingly was with this man for a year, and she had no idea this man was a fucking sexual predator. Anyway, again, if you want to comment, you're a fucking idiot. Please. Go ahead. Go ahead. I've heard it all before. I look back at my old self and I want to scream and freaking do something to her too, because she was so stupid. She was so dumb. She allowed everything to happen to her, and it was so fucked. And she would cry and she would feel sorry for herself. And she'd cry in the shower, like heaving in the shower, because this is all happening to her, and she's getting financially abused. She's paying 50% income. She's got the sister's fucking talking so much shit. She's got this man, you know, fucking hitting her, abusing her, trying to kill himself every time she wants to do something. He's slamming on the brakes in the car. He's raping her. She's got UTIs. She's in the worst position in the world, yet she's doing nothing to get out of it. That's just how I see it. Like she knew it all. She knew it all and she did nothing. Yeah. And I'm ashamed. I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed. And that's one thing about this whole story. That's one thing about this whole podcast is, am I a victim? Clearly, yes, I'm a victim. But am I also, at what point am I also a perpetrator as well? Because I've not only allowed this to happen to myself, I've defended this disgusting person in the past. And then finding out this information and obviously knowing shit already about him and then it happening to me, at what point am I participating in this disgusting behavior? By not jumping on the internet the next day and saying what I need to say, defending Alice, putting things right. And let me tell you, when I say that ate me up, it eats you up as somebody that has like experienced the pain from this fucking evil person and this whole family. It eats you alive. It eats you alive so bad. And as I said, I'm not looking to be the next role model. I've made mistakes. I've done fucked shit. By any means am I not a perfect person? I am not a perfect person. I was fucking horrible, but I was also a victim too. And I want you to keep in mind when I refer to this story and who I was, then it's something of the past. I just feel like I don't even resonate with who that person was. I don't know why she did the thing she did, and I think it's because of abuse and trauma and mental health, and I'm not trying to excuse my actions at all, but that's the only like thing I can tell you. Like, I don't know why I did that. You know, so obviously like the symptoms of having these like UTIs that are so fucking horrible is just hemorrhoids, really big, to the point where like only a 70-year-old should have hemorrhoids like that. Like, young people should not be having hemorrhoids, period. And it's such a dangerous. One of my old friends is a nurse, and he explained to me that, you know, these older people that get these hemorrhoids that are this size, it's just such a risky surgery because you can literally just bleed out. I mean, it's a big vein and you're just going to cut it. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like a swollen vein straining into a toilet with the blood. And here's some photos, like, which is so bizarre because like I never took photos, but it's like, holy fuck, thank God I've got a photo. Just the pain. Girlies get it. UTIs are fucked. And this is just like blood from like me sitting on the towel, just like waiting around, like, you know, just super hard to deal with. Here is some messages from Glenn talking about how, you know, he remembers when I never left that dark room because he was so brainwashed into thinking that I didn't like him and anyone else, you know, because Anna's spreading these lies around being like, Mikaela's lying about the fucking UTIs and stuff. And then here's a message of Jilly saying like, Honestly, for years, I never believed you had severe constant UTIs, as they were just so often. Like, surely not. But it all makes sense. Like, obviously, I was getting these UTIs only in a period of time. And I was like spreading lies about me for so long and bullying me behind my back to these people that, you know, for years she probably thought that I was fucking pretending those times that she would invite me to the club and her and Anna would invite me to go out, that I had a UTI just so I didn't have to go, which is just like so stupid. But anyways, but you know what? I probably wouldn't have wanted to go anyway, even if I didn't have the UTI, because you're a fake bitch, Anna. Anyways, this is just like petty now, but I'm putting it in because I don't care. Like, I'm so sick of it. So meanwhile, I'm dealing with these insane UTI pains that are so fucking bad, and I'm sick, I'm bedridden, I can't leave bed. Anna's taking Atis to strip clubs, which is against my personal boundaries and relationships. Look, I'm not going to elaborate too much on that, because at what point, again, am I rambling and talking shit for unnecessary reasons? But like, in my personal relationship, it's against my boundaries. I was not comfortable with Atis going to a strip club. She knew that. She would take him to strip clubs. I even went with them one time in the end because I didn't want to look like a crazy jealous ex-girlfriend, because that's all Anis would, not crazy jealous ex-girlfriend, sorry, crazy jealous girlfriend. Because that's what she would say about me behind my back to Atis and whatever. And Atis would just blame Anna like, I didn't even want to go. Like, Anna's just doing it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just have to for the content. Like, sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, well, like, I have fucking boundaries. Like, all of these girls at these strip clubs, like, know me personally. Like, we're all in the industry. Like, I just think it's really bizarre that, like, my boyfriend's probably at the strip club while I'm sick in bed with a freaking UTI, not getting any sleep, in so much pain. And this was obviously prior to me finding out that he was R-wording me. Because obviously he stopped R-wording me after this and my fucking UTIs went away, and I never had one since. I literally haven't even had a fucking UTI. Have I even had a UTI since then? I actually can't recall one time where I've had a UTI since then. Like, I mean, I've had barley belly, but that's like out the other end, not the fucking front. Yeah, I haven't had a single UTI since then. Oh my God. On TikTok on the 21st of the 10th 5, so like this was back then. This is what she posts.
Some Ural in my water because my piss hole and vagina hurts. Scrumptious. Yeah, we got 2 pizzas for dinner because I was hungry and I couldn't decide. Okay.
Anyway, it just like goes on with the video of her like stuffing her face full of pizza, lava cake, being all like sexual with the sauce dripping and all that. And then at the end she's like, yeah, my vagina like does hurt though. Which is so fucking bizarre and so infuriating, because that medication that she's opening up and putting into the thing is like mine, because I had so many boxes of this fucking Ural stuff. Obviously, because I had UTIs and I didn't know that the cause was this freaking her disgusting brother. But, you know, meanwhile, she's doing this little video for her little, my pee hole and like vagina hurt. And she's like emptying the sachet, taking like one pathetic sip of the medication. Is so annoying to me. First of all, you don't have a UTI. Second of all, you're just using like the my pee hole and vag thing to like get clicks to your OF on freaking TikTok. You're simultaneously at the same time saying this. You're making fun of me to your brother, to Glenn, to Jilly, to anyone else that you were friends with that whole group, saying that I'm lying about all this stuff, this UTI stuff, just because I don't want to hang out with you guys and it's an excuse. All while I'm getting raped by your brother. And then, yeah, you're just making content out of my fucking suffering, in my opinion. So I saw this and I just, oh my God, like it just annoyed me. It annoyed me. Did I ever say anything? No, I didn't. I was weak, pathetic, quiet, shy. I mean, this was all in past tense to me when I finally spoke up on her with the sofa shit. But as I said, I became this work girl towards the end of the relationship. I'm talking like 2022 mid. But before that, in your wildest dreams, I would have never said anything. You know, Anna's having the time of her life with Addis, all to herself. I'm bed and sick and depressed. You know, she's posting heaps of content with him. You know, she's doing all the stuff, strip clubs. I'm sick in bed. I'm upset. You know, I'm retracting emotionally from the relationship. I just never had a friend that I could tell. Of course, I never told Bailey about the Addis R-word stuff, because it's just like, at what point does she have to keep telling me to leave this man and he keeps hurting me? I just stopped telling her stuff. I kept hiding it. I kept covering it up. I kept allowing myself to be in a fucking abusive situation. So anytime I would have a new friend, I would tell them stuff, but I didn't want to tell Bailey because I was just so embarrassed. But it's not like nobody knew what was going on with the pools, and I kept these people that I would confide in very close, because I never wanted the information to possibly ever get out and get posted or blasted everywhere, because as I said, I lived there And I wasn't ready to leave yet. I was still trying to get my exit plan and leave, but I wasn't fucking moving fast enough. Yeah, and I just need to say that obviously being raped, essayed as well, financially abused, physically abused in all different types of ways, and not leaving and not speaking up for other victims and still continuing to live in this family dynamic situation. Obviously, you guys know something was up. The internet knew something was up. I wouldn't post with them. I wouldn't be happy in the background of any of Anna's content. I mean, sometimes, yeah, but it was very forced. It was very fake. It was very because I needed to do that so I could pay my rent that week so that my OF would perform. It was all performative. It was all because I absolutely had to. And you could see that throughout the content and people weren't buying it. Some people were picking it out. Anyways, it gets to my next chapter. I don't want to brush over that last one so far. And like, yes, if you want to fuck me over and you want to comment something and you want to bully me, I know I deserve it. I deserve everything because I didn't leave. I don't want to have to keep saying it, but I feel like I have to because I don't want people to think I'm not aware that I'm fucked in the situation. I know I'm fucked. I'm fucked. That's why I've been holding it for years. This is why I've never come out. Like this whole time I've held it all in for years and years and years because I'm not innocent either. Do I want to blast it on the internet at the time? No, I didn't. Do I want to now because I'm a healed person and I should own the fuck up to the shit I fucking did? Yes. Yes, I'm owning it up. I don't care if you guys want to unfollow me now. Like, don't want to talk to me, don't like me, that's so fine with me. But it doesn't sit right with me that I haven't said my piece and said things so that Alice is free now. Because for a long time, her fans, and still even before and now, bully her and call her a liar and all sorts of things. The girl didn't even get to finish school. But anyways, I'll get into that later. This brings me to my next chapter, and it's animal neglect. Anna just buys animals like handbags. Like she'll entertain the animal for a short period of time and then she'll kind of pass it off to a family member and then she'll buy another one the next year and then it'll happen again. The cycle will repeat. It'll be all sorts of species. When I first came to the house, she had 3 dogs and like 4 birds. Because she had Rainbow, which was a bird that she had outside. She had Sunshine, which was this yellow bird. She had Konya, which was a Konya parrot. And she had Quakesy, which was this green parrot. As well as 3 dogs. She had BB, Ninja, and Angel. And I'm going to put photos up here. You know, obviously they would be complaining like so much, like the other family members like, oh, Anna just bought these dogs because, you know, the dogs would be pissing all over the house. They weren't trained and there wasn't a doggy door. And so like obviously we'd come back. This was the first house we were at called the Promontory. We also called the house the Pimentory. And it got demolished, I believe, because of the amount of urine that was in the fucking house that they probably just couldn't get rid of the smell. So they had to like demolish it. Yeah, so like the dogs would just piss like right in front of your face, like up against the wall. It was insane. And that was just like normal to them. And like that was something that I noticed when I first like came to their fucking house to like live with this family. Yeah, just like the sheer way that they would speak of these dogs is like, oh, such a chore. Like, oh, Anna just keeps buying these dogs and she does like nothing for them. And now mama has to do all the hard work and like everyone has to clean the piss and like Anna does nothing. Like that was the energy. But she was very much bird mum vibes, bird mum energy. She had 4 birds at the time, as I already said. During childhood, as you can see here, she got Baby, which is the Chihuahua, in like 2016. By the way, I love Baby so much. I lived with her for many years. Adorable little thing. So obviously Baby, like cute Chihuahua, she got her when she was in the teens. She's plastered as a little cute Chihuahua all over her Instagram, in the handbag. It's like a designer item. She's posting this dog like she absolutely loves it, right? She's posting Angel. But you don't really see many photos of Ninja because I only have Ninja as an adult, but she didn't get Ninja very long after she got Baby. And obviously Angel was more like when she was a young girl, like as in like maybe possibly 11 or 12 or something like that. So she was already an old love by the time like Anna was posting this in 2017, which I was there when Angel passed away and it was honestly really devastating. So yeah, she had Rainbow outside, which isn't pictured. I can't find a picture at all, but you're just gonna have to trust me. She had a bird that was in a cage outside that was a female that would lay eggs, and obviously the egg wouldn't get fertilized. So the bird would be very stressed, you know, plucking out its feathers just looked like a 6-year-old thing. It was a rainbow lorikeet. And I'm pretty sure it's illegal to actually keep those as they're a protected animal. But I don't give a fuck. I will go down with saying they had a rainbow lorikeet. I've probably got photos on my old phone, actually. I think I do. I'm slack. They had it in the cage and it was outside, and Papa would always say, oh, it has some sort of bird flu that if another bird is around it, it will die or something. So that was the reason why it was in the cage. I don't fucking know. So this is really interesting because obviously in my time, which you're about to find out, my time in the house living with these fucking people, I witnessed the birds being completely neglected after the fact of her buying cats. So obviously at first, when I first came, 2019, 2020, and then a couple months into 2021, she was the best bird mom ever. That content was slaying on TikTok. It was getting millions of views. She had Quakesy on her merch with stacks. She was very much bird influencer vibe, right? But before I get into that, on the 3rd of October 2018, she wrote this little cute message on her Instagram with a photo of her and Sunshine, I believe, the yellow parrot. And she goes, "When I first got this pretty birdie, she was super neglected by her previous owner. She pulled out all of her tummy feathers due to anxiety of always being left in her cage and was scared of everything. Her tummy feathers have now grown back and she trusts me 100%. She sleeps underneath my shirt and is in love with me because I saved her. If you're thinking of buying a bird, there are thousands of birds that are being neglected and need love, so rescue one instead of buying from a breeder or a pet shop. Remember, a parrot is a 20-year commitment." Okay. The second she got cats, so Nutsack was the first cat in, I'll get the dates up soon. Those birds that she had in the room were completely neglected. So the second Hans gets back to Australia from Germany, from being there when his family members passed away and he was getting treated horribly and spoken shit about behind his back the whole time. I'm going to get into Papa later. I need to talk about something else first. I'll get to it, all right? Anyways, the second Hans gets home to Australia, Vildan palms off the dogs to him. By the way, I need to mention, he was living in a van because he was no longer allowed to live in the house because Vildan was cheating on him. Simple as that. I witnessed it all. So anyways, I'll catch you up later. He was living in a van. Not only that, but he was forced to live in the fucking van with BB and Ninja. Ninja is a big dog. This van is tiny. This van is so small, and, Hans scraped together his last change to get that damn van because he had burnout from the way Vildan treated him throughout all the years that he did not want to sell antiques anymore, and he couldn't even sit at a desk and look at his laptop and actually work on it. Like, he struggled so badly with mental health issues and nobody gave a fuck about him except me and Glenn, and probably Glenn's family too, because I know they love him. But there was no sympathy from Atis or Anna. Nobody truly cared about him. They fucking spoke, the way they spoke about their father was truly so disgusting. I was actually always actively defending him. It was actually tiring of how many times I had to defend this man to his own kids. But I don't want to ramble. I'll get to it. So yeah, Ninja's on medication. He's living in this tiny van. As you can see, this is his storage. And then this is how Ninja and BB fit in the car. And then Hans is expected to sleep in this car too. And it's one of those ones, the sun heats it up. It's just not the vibe. He didn't have money. He had to buy this van and put whatever he could put in it. BB, on the other hand, she was not trained at all. So the reason why they probably palmed BB and Ninja off to Papa, well, I know some of the reason why. They didn't like Ninja because apparently his panting annoyed them and his breath stank, and they just didn't want a dog in their new mansion house. But also because BB was not trained, and you can see in these photos here, she would shit in the house. She'd shit just straight on the carpet. She wasn't trained at all. Look at this. So this is when I got back from a vacation from Perth, and I literally landed off the plane and walked into the house to this. And this is how many turds are on the floor. You've got 1, 2, 3... It's like a trail into the room. You've got another one here just randomly on the floor. You've got another one on a pair of pants with some chewed up cat food, which she got into. You've got another turd on the floor over here. Another one in the corner of the room. I don't know how many, if anyone's doing a turd count, but that's a lot of fucking turds. How long was she locked in the house for? Not to mention the little piddles of piss around the carpet, which is all over the carpet, mind you, which at the time we have cats, and cats are very, very instinctual. You cannot remove dog piss from carpet. It's going to be under the floorboards. You're going to be able to spray it and clean it, but it'll never truly be gone. And a cat's smell is just so strong that, yeah, the cats would fucking every now and then piss and shit on top of the freaking dog shit and piss. It was just a never ending cycle of shit and piss, and the house was just fucked. So on the 5th of July, 2021, obviously, Anna has those 5 birds, whatever. The rainbow one, the rainbow lorikeet, passed away. She buys a hairless cat. And this is baby Nutsack here. So cute. Love Nutsack. right before she bought Nutsack, she bought these two birds here, and I'm going to put them up on the screen. This is Cake Face, and I don't remember this bird's name because, as I said, this bird barely like was a vibe. Like she barely, I don't even, go on her TikTok. She probably fucking has one video of them. It's actually very sad. So in this photo here, you can see that the cage is like in Glenn's second room and Glenn and Anna's second room. And these birds were kind of in there for the moment because she had just gotten them. She bought 2 new birds. She already had 3. So that's 5 because Rainbow's passed away. So it's 5 birds. And as she said in her own words, it's a 20-year-long commitment, right? The second Nutsack gets bought, those birds were getting neglected. Nobody was going in there. So Anna went from this bird mom girl to this now hairless cat content that's getting so much views on TikTok. It's getting millions and millions of views. Oh my God, look at the oil in my bed. Like, you guys remember this shit. You guys remember being like, thinking like, wait, if you think you haven't seen the birds in a long time because she didn't go in there. She would barely even go in the room. There was times where she wouldn't even probably go in there for months straight. Like, so she had 5 birds. She kept buying cats. They just kept growing. The collection of cats, like they had like 3 hairless cats at one point. So there was just too many cats in the house. They were wandering around. They were, you know, it's just not the energy to have like a bird, a vulnerable bird sitting up on the freaking outside the cage, you know, and the door was shut in the room. So the birds were locked in a room. I've made a video of that guy that did the smoke alarms that went in there and it was bizarre and whatever. It's just like weird. Like, why do you have 5 birds? You have 1 cat. Now you've bought another one. Now you have another hairless cat. So now you've got 3 hairless cats because you keep buying more. Attis buys you this puppy, which is this like poodle looking puppy. You have a horse as well. You buy a horse as well. So at all the same time, you've got 5 birds. You've got 3 cats. Another dog when BB and Ninja are sleeping in the fucking van with Papa because you don't want them anymore when you bought those dogs. She just keeps buying animals because it's relevant content. And of course, it's all over her Instagram. It's all over her TikTok. It's getting millions of views. And she's probably just filtering all the comments of people being like, why are you buying so many animals? And why, after a couple of years, do they just go completely missing? But in reality, they're in the house. They're just sitting in a cage, you know, like the birds, or they're in Papa's van. It's actually fucked. It's not like she's giving these animals away. She's not giving them away. They're just palmed off to Papa in the van or literally locked in a room. After she buys a horse, she buys another black hairless cat. While Glenn pops up with having the poodle now, which Attis bought Anna. And she doesn't want to take care of it anymore, which I'll tell you how I found that out later. And then, you know, she's just buying another hairless cat. So she's just got 4 hairless cats at her house. All these birds, which nobody's seen in forever. I'm just trying to show you guys the timeline of how many pets she has. And you've got BB, because Ninja ends up passing away. She's got BB in Papa's van, which she used to post all over her Instagram. Like posting like all this stuff with her. And then now like she's chopped liver and now she's living in Papa's hot van and like all the shit. So yes, just obsessed with buying new animals all the time. Like these animals aren't a 15 to 20 year commitment. And she'll just leave them to rot when they're not hot content, not relevant. And then Anna buys another bird, which pisses me off.
Okay, we're gonna go check out a snake because we actually have a snake in our house. And it's wet. Wasn't he like this?
Yeah, he was tiny.
And now he's shit. Nice. There he is. And you can get him out. Oh, listen, the way... Put the camera back on me immediately.
What the fuck? Is anyone else just like really fucking concerned? Because I am. I lived in the house and I witnessed things that you guys haven't. Sorry, I get really angry because it's just annoying because she bought the new... Like, the reason why I'm saying this, because it's all good and well, Anna. People make mistakes, okay? People buy animals and then they realize it's a big thing to handle. But like, you have a track record of doing this over way too long, honey. And you should have learnt your lesson so many times when you palm all these animals off to everyone around you and neglect them. It's when you bought a new bird just this year that pissed me off. It pissed me off so much because there's no way I watched those fucking birds rot in a cage. And the photos I'm about to show you show that exactly. But you're now, after your other ones have died or whatever has fucking happened to them, because you literally said, oh yeah, Quakesy died, when Quakesy shouldn't be dead yet. Why is Quakesy dead? He's not old enough to be dead yet. Why is Quakesy dead? And we know why, because you neglected him, and these photos show it. These photos show it. And nobody has fucking heard a word from about fucking Quakesy until you posted that he passed away and you bought a new bird. So insensitive in the same fucking video too. It's so disgusting, Anna. It's so disgusting. Stop buying animals and then making Papa take everyone in all the animals in the fucking van. It's not Papa's fucking problem.
Papa was not really happy with having all of these dogs. He was always saying how stressed he was having Ninja and Baby in the van and how it was too much. And, Anna would have to send him some money to, to try and keep care of these dogs, especially because Ninja had vet bills, a lot of vet bills, because he was very sick. So Papa wasn't exactly the happiest to have these animals in his care either. He would get quite stressed out, and it was something that he would always talk to me about, as well as whinging to Anna and Attis as well about having these animals. Did anybody give a fuck? No. Apart from me, which I had to fight for him to be able to even sleep in the garage, because Vildan did not like that.
Stop fucking buying animals for content and then using them in content and then completely neglecting them when the camera's not fucking rolling, and then just buying new ones and palming them off or literally leaving them in a room to rot. It's so upsetting. Here's a healthy photo of Quakesy from, 22nd of April 2021, before we ever bought a cat, before Nutsack exists. This was Quakesy, 22nd of May. He looks horrible. He looks so... I know the bird pros are going to come. I don't know much about birds. Quakesy looks very, very unwell in this. He looks like he's been going through it. As I said, Quakesy went from being Anna's best friend, favorite bird. Anna had him out every day. I used to see her freaking putting him everywhere. He was everywhere. He was always out of the cage. I don't even think he lived in a cage. He literally would only go in the cage to sleep. To her getting a hairless cat now, and that's the hot shot content and Quakesy's chopped liver. And, of course, being a whole almost year later after having Nutsack, she just didn't care. It was all like she was taking Nutsack, wrapping him up in a towel, bringing Wormy, like driving to Sydney with him in her fucking cars and stuff, and then just neglecting these birds. They sat in a cage. They would sing, they would cry. I made a TikTok about it. My sister would go in there. I'm not putting photos of my sister in here because, I don't want to get her involved. It was just sad because they were just in a cage, no airflow. Garb, like you can see in this photo here with me with Konya, I'm crying and shit. There's like trash, like all this like clutter like built up in the room because that was just a room that Anna filled with shit that she didn't want anymore. Old clothes, old suitcases, just clutter and junk. The birds were just clutter and junk too. She just put them in there with a cage, and then she had her other room, which the birds were in before, where she set up a whole streaming setup and shit and kicked the birds out, and they were just shoved in a dusty ass corner. She didn't give a fuck about them. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, and I don't care. She did not give a fuck, and I saw it all for myself. Obviously, you can see here, there's, I'm not going to show the videos because obviously with allegations like this, you want to keep stuff redacted. There's a lot of information without this video that I have been keeping in a different folder that is just of a different type of caliber of a fucking receipt. These birds have been bumming around, rotting around in the cage. I would pop in and out there sometimes. I don't know birds. I'm so unfamiliar with birds that I didn't know how to deal with them. I would obviously take them out and put them on my shoulder, and I would take the most friendly one out, which was Konya. But like, as I said, like I don't know birds, and I would just like kind of give them little bits of fruit and kind of play with them for a little bit because I'd sing and scream. Like I'd wake up, I'd be in my bed in the morning and I'd just be screaming. Like the room would smell because like all the feathers kind of like mulch down into the cage, and it wouldn't be cleaned for forever. Glenn would clean the cages too. But as I said, he was spending a lot of time with Anna filming all of this content. He literally had to work like a dog for her. He was always out in Sydney doing long road trips, like doing all this stuff for Anna. So I don't want anyone to come for Glenn because Glenn was always out. Like he was literally always out. You saw Anna's vlogs. He was behind it all. He had to film it all. He was always driving. He was always doing something for her. So I don't want to hear people say that about Glenn. But as I said, I was out traveling too. I was out all around Australia, Hamilton Island, doing all this stuff. She did not care. She would take the cat in the car and like drive it around and like film content. She just neglected her birds. Papa, in November of 2022, started taking Quakesy out of the cage and taking him on little outings in the van. Obviously, I was out of the house. I was no longer living with these fucking disgusting people anymore. So I don't know what happened. But all I can see is what I can see, and that's evidence that Hans was taking Quakesy out of the fucking cage, and his tummy feathers look so fucking plucked. This bird looks so upset and unwell. The top of his head too. Just losing feathers from stress. 2 of her dogs are dead now because I don't know what happened to them. They would have got sick and died or whatever. Maybe old age. Old age got one of them. And then BB's still alive and she's living in the van with Papa, and Papa's just taking care of her now because, again, she's chopped liver to Anna, even though she fucking bought her and loved and adored her for years and years on her Instagram, and then until she wasn't content anymore. She bought the birds. They were hot content for a bit, you know, doing the whole Instagram, doing the whole YouTube videos and stuff like that. And then in 2021, she buys her first hairless cat. And then she keeps buying so many hairless cats that the birds get neglected, which they all end up dying. Queeksy is now dead. I have not seen Konya, Sunshine. I don't remember the other names of the other birds. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Maybe she gave them away. Attis is buying her a poodle that she doesn't want, palms off to Glenn. Like, it's just like, and then she has all these cats. And then she has a horse. When you're in my position, when you see how fucking sad and depressed Papa was living in that van, first of all, and then him having to live in that van with Ninja, this giant dog, which is sick, by the way, and then Baby, which is just like, you know, fucking crowding that van, and it's hot and it's summertime in Australia, and you know the things that they say about their dad and the way they make it difficult for him to live. It's just very sad and disgusting. But anyway, she bought a new bird, and the first thing she's doing with it is making all of these videos on TikTok, posting all of these Snapchat highlight save stories, being like having a parrot. Like, it's all for content. And if I didn't sit here and say what I've been saying right now, in 3 years, like, this is what would have happened in 3 years from now. You'd be seeing that fucking bird debuting on Hans Paul's Instagram on his lap every now and then, because it's sitting in a cage at home. Now we need to get into my next topic. So this is a really hard one. This is just so fucking difficult to talk about because it's fucking upsetting. And this is, you know what? And I don't even care. So in my video on TikTok, I was only tearing up when I was talking about Papa. And you know why? Because he's a good man. I know Papa's a good man. I know he's an amazing, empathetic, amazing person. He's just a good person by nature. So yeah, do I get more sad talking about hardships that he's gone through? Yes, because I fucking cared about him and I saw him like a father. He was an amazing man. I'm so sorry, Papa, that I have to like air this information out. It wasn't me that aired it out. It was someone else, an influencer in the scene, that aired it out because they know your ex-girlfriend. And as we all know, Papa, you cry, you can get drunk, you can feel types of ways about shit that has gone on. And we know you're at the pub telling people, but just like friends that you had made there, employees there, you had confided in your ex-partner, you were confiding in random strangers at this place because that's your safe place. Just like you would confide in me when I would be at the house in the kitchen and you would cry to me about things in your life, and I would sit there and talk to you and listen to you while no one was around for hours on end. I know you're a good person and I have nothing bad to say about you. And I just want to start with saying that I have nothing bad to say about Hans Paul, and I will never have something bad to say about Hans Paul because he's an amazing fucking man. And even, I'm quoting his own words, he doesn't even know where he went wrong with his kids. He doesn't know. He doesn't know where he went wrong with raising those fucking kids because they're foul and they're just like their mother. And I'm so sorry. I don't want to come across like this, but it's just the truth. And I don't know how else to fucking say it. Hans Paul is homeless. I'll set the scene for you. He worked his ass off. He had so many nice cars. He's from Germany. He's provided for his family. He would sell antiques. He would make so much money. He would fucking always have them living in a nice situation, always having money to provide, nice gifts, everything. But I want you to know that even though he was the main provider for the entire house, Vildan had some sort of resentment and animosity towards this man. It was like she was with him, but she hated him. And she would always talk shit about him to her kids. So obviously growing up, Papa was always there, but Vildan was always in these kids' ears with shit. This is information that I got told by Hans. I don't want to hear anything about it. This is not he said, she said. I heard this from the source. Vildan was just... What I can say about Vildan is she's not a nice person, okay? She's not a nice person. She is very fucking nasty. The things that come out of her mouth are very fucking disgusting. She's just not a nice person, okay? This is not something that I would have come on here because I don't like talking necessarily about parents, but it is a really disgusting, horrible, fucked up thing, and something that I witnessed while I was dating and things that I witnessed after because I lived down the road from these people. So I saw and heard and interacted and saw him and whatever. So I just want to show you something that Veruca posted first, which was this video.
Okay, I just have to say something. I actually, it's eating me alive to not say anything. I'm going to set the scene for you, okay? When my son was still alive, I had this woman, like a family friend of mine, come over to look after my son. I'm just telling you how I found out, okay? She'd come over to look after my son while I went to the dentist or I went and did whatever, you know, whatever. My son dies. maybe 2 days later, she comes over, she's talking to me. She's just talking to me about random stuff about her life, you know, not about the death of my baby. And she's like, oh, do you know so-and-so from the internet? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I don't live under a rock. Of course I fucking know who that is. She tells me that she's going on a date with her dad, like, and she has been low-key kind of dating him on and off, like, you know, they eat lunch together or whatever. This woman is literally just a sweet little old lady, okay? So she's not making shit up. And then later on, I went on my own little investigation and it is true. Anyway, she's telling me that, like, he smells bad and he lives in his van and he can't really shower. He doesn't have money for food. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? That man's daughter is so fucking wealthy. What do you mean he doesn't have money for food? At first I didn't believe it. I went, no, I'm pretty sure he lives in the house. I've seen them post videos saying that he lives in the house. That is actually not true, and we'll go back to that in a second. So now I'm like side-eyeing everything from this moment. I'm like, what the fuck? This is really weird. The day my son's funeral rolls around, maybe 2 weeks later, obviously my son's babysitter is there and a couple of my friends are there also. So we start talking about this. One of my friends go, no, it is true, and I'll tell you why. Try to keep up, okay? One of my friends used to be friends with a former associate of the influencer in question. Does that make sense? So she tells me a story of when my friend and former associate of this influencer went to go get some food and they saw this person's dad in the parking lot. So my friend's like, what is this guy doing in the parking lot and what is he doing picking up somebody else's food doing DoorDash? So former associate who's with my friend says, yeah, no, he's literally homeless. Like, the way that his children treat him is disgusting. And that he did used to live in the house because former associate said, this is fucking disgusting. And this man is living in this house. And now former associate does not live in the house. So now the dad don't live there either. And the whole reason the dad doesn't live in the house is because the mum cheated on him. And the mum's really weird and would say stuff like, are you going to buy me this? Or do you love Papa more than me? And then the children will say to the dad, like, oh, if you wanted to live in the house, you should have bought Bitcoin when we were kids. I continue to see my son's babysitter on a weekly basis. We hang out, we get some food, whatever. Everyone around where we go to get food also knows about this situation with this person's dad. Like, he can't really afford to eat. My son's babysitter is like giving him some of her pizza when he's there. He recently only got a bottle of water and ran out on the bill of a bottle of water because he literally cannot afford it. And what eats me alive is the fact that this girl sits on the internet and says, I'm a gift giver, I love giving back, I love my family. When in reality, she's texting her dad, hey, I need you to come over to be in a video. And her dad is apparently such a sweetheart and such a nice man that he will never ever say anything publicly about it, or even to his children about it. He'll just go along with this because he would rather still get to see his children just to be in a video for public appearances, because he's just hoping one day that his children will wake up and not be a fucking cunt anymore. This man is doing DoorDash so that he can afford a gym membership so he can afford to shower, or he showers at the beach. And his daughter is so rich, and the worst part is that she sits on the internet and pretends to be so caring when this man is basically starving and filthy because she refuses to do anything about it. Oh my fucking god, it's actually eating me alive. I can't even. Sorry, I just feel like I need to add, it's all just manipulation as well, because she's made videos saying, I hate when people call me a liar because I don't lie. My mum always taught me not to lie. You're lying about your fucking relationship with your dad, and he's homeless and starving and driving around your area waiting for a text to hang out with you. Oh my god. If my children grew up to do this to me because I didn't make them rich, it would hurt my feelings so bad. I would be so sad every single day. On top of them using him to have like a family front, to be able to manipulate their audience into thinking they're like a nice, lovely little family so that they can get more fucking money out of their audience. And there's more rumors about like the businesses and the breakups and all of that, but I don't really even want to get into it because I know the dad thing to be true. And if I come out with the rest of it, oh my fucking god, I'm going to be like involved in this scandal because I'm the person to say something, but somebody has to fucking say something because this is ridiculous, and the manipulation of their audience and what they're doing to their dad is just fucked up.
So that was Veruca. Veruca and I, at this point when this video debuted on social media, were not friends. I had never met her, And I didn't really know her that well, apart from that we had been mutuals in the past. But we had unfollowed each other because I lied about my BBL, and she was like, girl, what the fuck? When I saw this video, I freaked out. I freaked out because I was the person that had told my friend Lauren the tea. So obviously Veruca knows her babysitter was dating Hans, and like obviously Veruca had spoken to people at the place where Hans would go for a drink. Obviously I had Life 360, the app, up until February 5th, 2024, and I have the receipt right here. Yeah, obviously I had Hans Life 360. So I knew he was sleeping in his van. I knew that, you know, everything Veruca said in her video, not one word of a lie did she say. Not one word of a lie. And it always fucking bothered me about the fact that, you know, people were saying that I was the one that told Veruca the stuff, and people were saying that Veruca's lying and it's all lies. I just want to show you right here. This is how Papa lives. This is his van. This is the back of the van. And this is a little bit pimped up too. You know, this is when he's got a little bit of shit going on in it. A caption that he posted: morning view through the sliding door. And then the showers came again. The good thing is I don't have to find shade for the dogs. So he's lived in this van, and his daily routine is making a little coffee on his little pot and pan at the back, parked up at, I'm not going to tell you what location, but I know the locations because, as I said, right before I would go to sleep every single night, I would check my Life 360. I had Papa's location because I needed to like make sure where he was. Like, call me a crazy ex or something like that. I don't give a fuck. My care and admiration for Hans Paul has nothing to do with Addis Paul, and never has. I witnessed the way they treated this man, and I knew because of how hard I had to fight for Hans to live in the house, even just park his car in the garage to sleep in there, was insane. I literally stood up to Vildan, Atis, Anna, and everyone, and I told Hans to his face, I don't care what they say. I pay the rent. You are allowed to come and sleep in this garage. It's $3,650 a week, and I'm paying it. I'm paying like half of it. I'm paying majority of this damn rent. I'm paying like a full big chunk of it. Hans Paul, you have every right to sleep in the garage, and I'm going to put a spare bed in this room, and here's a nice little bathroom, and you have permission from me to be able to use it. When I tell you the amount of bullying I experienced from Vildan just because of this, like, you have a fucking another man. Go and live your life with another man. Who cares what I'm doing for my freaking partner's father that is literally has like nothing left? His family's passing away. He's going through shit. You've just cheated on him and left him. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, but I need to tone it down, but just the amount of anger I feel because I'm just so angry for Hans Paul. I've always been angry for Hans Paul. And the amount of bullying that I received, to the point where I'd even cry to Hans about how horrible she is to me and how she's trying to pit everyone against me because I always stuck up for him. And she didn't like that. She didn't like when someone sticks up for Hans Paul because she hated Hans Paul. I don't know why. He never fucking did anything to her. She always needed the kids' attention. That whole like thing Veruca said, like, do you love Papa more than me? That's so true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Hans was bringing the food to the table, keeping the lights on, keeping the roof over their head. And she was neglecting foster kids for money for Restovite. She might have bought Anna something that she didn't need, like a Tiffany & Co. ring, but somehow Mama was such a hard worker. Mama was the one that was doing everything, and like it was just like these kids' realities are so warped. Their father did so much for them, and Vildan gets all the credit, and she pits her own kids against him, and it's fucked to see. I'm so sick of it. So here's a photo of Hans with his coffee in, January 2022 when he was sleeping in the garage. Morning coffee, he said. So when I say that the Pauls grew up wealthy when they were younger, would I say wealthy? Like, I would say, yeah, they had designer. They lived in a waterfront home. To me, that's wealthy. Do I think insanely rich? No. But he was making hella money. He was making so much money. He was paying the rent. Food was on the table. They were having good Christmases. They were having fucking food on Christmas. They weren't starving, for crying out loud. They were going to cafes. They were going on shopping sprees. Around the time of like 2018, 2019, Papa would always explain that he has burnout. So he worked so hard throughout his whole life to provide for these kids. Around 2019 or 2018 or something like that, he started experiencing problems, like where it was mental. Like, he didn't want to do the work. It's something called burnout. I don't know. Do the Googling. I think that it's a very real thing because I've just experienced burnout myself since 2023. I've experienced burnout myself. I believe in it. Anna, Atis, and Mama would make so much fun of Papa and say burnout doesn't exist and make so much fun of him. Not only that, but they just say the most disgusting, foul things about their dad. They talk so much shit about him. They say he stinks. They say this and that. All these things. Like, it's just so mean. They just bully him to his face and also behind his back. It's just sick. And also they allowed their mother to cheat on him for God knows how long. And it was only until I literally said to Atis that I'm just going to tell Hans if you don't. And I hadn't even met Hans yet because he was still in Germany. I'm not going to text him. I knew him over the phone and I would talk to him over the phone regularly. But Atis was knowing that his mother was out with another man, dating, and not even telling his own dad that she's fucking doing this. And I understand, like, being in the middle, like, parents are getting divorced and breaking up. Like, I understand it's hard, but at the same time, like, your father is calling you and he's crying because he has burnout and he wants to come home and he misses you so much. And the only reason why he's not there is because he's dealing with the loss of his parent is so sick. Like, I don't know. So I made him tell him one day, and once he found out, you know, whatever. Hans would do Uber Eats orders. So I don't have DoorDash. I don't have the app. I'm guessing he just sometimes used Uber Eats, sometimes used DoorDash. But you can see here on the 17th of September 2023, Hans brought me a large McDonald's delivery and I tipped him $444, the tip. Because in the house, we obviously believe in angel numbers and we would always talk about angel numbers. I saw the photo, it was Hans, and I was like, oh my God. You know, I live in the same estate of these people, live down the street from these people now. Obviously, we were broken up at this point. But, you know, I would still get notifications on Life 360. You know, we still had each other's location up until 5th of February 2024. This is just a last screenshot that I have of it, but he turned off his location when Veruca had made a statement. So losing Hans's location to me was such a loss, not for any other reason other than I worry about him. I worry about him a great deal because I know he's sleeping in parks. I know he's sleeping at the Woolworths car park because anytime I would go with my friend Lauren, you know, we'd see him in the car park. He'd be asleep there. He'd be using Wi-Fi. I know that he would get kicked out by security at night because, you know, he wasn't allowed to sleep in his van there. Just, you know, things like that. Hans would like my close friend stories. We were still friends. You know what I'm saying? I still cared about him regardless of what I thought about Anna and Anna's Paul. I don't really care. And Vildan. Like, those are horrible people. I don't have a bad word to say about Glenn. I don't have a bad word to say about Hans or Glenn's family. No, everyone else, like, these are all victims in my eyes. In my eyes, they're all victims, especially Hans Paul. He's a big victim of that family. So obviously when this Veruca video came out, it was insane. It was big. The whole internet was talking about it. It was so niche. Everyone believed Veruca and it was just this big thing until, you know, Anna's not saying anything and she's not addressing anything. And then you've got Hans on his Instagram story saying what he's saying, you know, saying it's not true and blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, Veruca's just like getting all this hate, which is so fucked and ridiculous. Obviously, the first thing in my mind when this video came out, like, I was not friends with Veruca, was, oh my God, I'm so scared for Hans. I'm so scared for Hans. What are they going to do to him? They're going to do stuff to him. They're going to treat him bad. They're going to treat him worse. As I said, I'm already somebody that checks his Life 360. I'm already someone that tries to check up on him to make sure, like, he's okay. Because I knew he was homeless. I knew he was showering at the beach. I knew he would be at the freaking sleeping in the car park in that stinking ass van. Like, I knew it all. So my first thought is, oh my God, holy fuck, I need to message Anna right now. I need to double check what's going on. So I text Anna and I said, I don't know, I just love you guys so much. Shit's fucked, like, but I just messaged. I needed to get intel. I needed to see what was going on. I was worrying about Hans and I did not text Hans because I knew he wouldn't reply to me. Anyways, this is a voice message that Anna sends back to me when I text her about it.
I've spoken to Papa and I've told him, like, what are you telling people? What the fuck? I had messaged him, like, a huge thing, like, to always talk to me if he ever needs anything, blah, blah, blah. Like, he knows. And he says to me, like, I know I have your card and I can pay for anything I want at all times. Like, I know this. I would never say a bad word about you guys ever. Like that's his vibe. So I'm like, okay, but just make sure you don't talk to random people about our life. And he's like, I never have. Like, so I'm like, okay, what? But people are saying you are, but okay, Papa, I believe you. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the vibe. As for going on a call with her, I don't even know. I want to just ignore it.
So yes, in that video, she's well aware that it's a possibility that Papa is going around at this bar and bistro. You know, he's drinking there all the time. He's hanging out there. He's making constant friends there. He's dating women from there. That he's telling people this stuff because the source is Hans Paul as well. Like at the end of the day, he's telling people at this venue that he doesn't have money for food. He's telling his girlfriend that he doesn't have money for food. He showers at the beach. She's giving him some of her pizza whenever he's over because he's hungry.
And when she said, Papa knows he can use my card, I knew damn well this woman made so much fun of her father, bullied him in our group chats. This is a screenshot I found of, you know, her bullying him about using $3 on her card. She is so nasty, just like her mother. Her father has burnout and is unable to work now due to stress and shit that he endured from her mother. So I knew this was a crock of shit. I knew how she spoke about her father. And this is just so funny that I've managed to find a screenshot of this exact situation that I've been talking about.
I don't believe the card thing. That's just BS. Vildan would never let that slide. And Vildan would always like put up a stink. If anyone in the house wanted to give Hans any fucking money, she would just be jealous and weird. Oh, gosh. Gosh. She doesn't like when Papa gets given stuff. She's just weird. I don't know what she's like now, but this was what she was like back then. And I bet she's still the same. Hans has cried to me about stuff. I'm going to get into it later, but that's the vibe. So then she sends me this photo of her and Papa and, you know, she's doing a thumbs down, sad face. Hans is sitting next to Anna. He looks so fucking sad. He looks so sad. I'm like, fuck. Shit's exposed. It's all true. No word of a lie, but it's all out. And I didn't want it out at this time. I was still loyal to these people. Even though I would tell my personal close friends like Lauren and anyone else that was close to me what the horrors I had gone through with this family, I didn't want it on the internet. I didn't want it public. And it was out. I mean, I saw this photo of Papa. I said, I hope you guys are okay. And I fucking knew. I knew. Fuck, she's going to be so pissed. She's going to be so angry because she knows Papa's telling people this because, of course, he is. It's all true. So I told her basically, you know, people from the place where he goes have been talking about it. People see him doing the DoorDash. People are coming out on TikTok with receipts of Hans bringing them the DoorDash and the Uber Eats. And there's like, you know, employees coming out with their side being like, yes, I talk to Hans, I serve him, da-da-da-da-da-da. There's this whole narrative, right? This whole narrative that I defended Anna and I said Veruca was lying online. I've never said online since this entire thing came out that Veruca lied. I never did. I never said she was lying because she's not lying. Yes, Anna in her new video said, and this person, when the Papa stuff came out, she was helping me through it. Yes, of course I was helping you through it. Papa was with you and I knew all hell would break loose. I was texting you. I needed to find information. I needed to make sure everything was okay. Your father turned his location off and I started freaking out. All right? So Veruca and I were in contact at this time because I had contacted Veruca because I was like, holy fuck, this shit is so big. I need to know what's going on. She told me the story in full. She gave me more details. Basically, she says, I made out like a liar again when I'm not fucking lying and there's so many people that know I'm not lying and refuse to say a thing. Which is so true. Right? I knew that she wasn't lying. I was fucking there. I saw it. I've seen Hans crying in the kitchen. I've seen him at Woolworths. He's homeless. I've been in arguments with their fucking mother and Atis and Anna and shit, trying to fight for him to be able to sleep in the house. Like, I've been there. I've seen it all. It's all true. It's all facts. I've seen the way they treat him. I know he's homeless. I know he's sleeping at the beach. I know he's fucking showering at the beach and showering at the gym. I know it all. And I'm actively, again, what you guys always have fucking known me to be, a fucking bystander, a follower, a zip lip, like this fucking person that is not fucking saying anything, not speaking up. Not even speaking up for herself in the past. She's the shittiest track record ever. Only very close personal people to me knew these horrors about this fucking family. And I would only tell them because these fucking people were parasocial fans of this family and I just wanted to tell them some fucking facts because, you know, somebody that fucking dated the man for 3 years and lived in the fucking house for longer than that. Anyways, so Veruca was very upset. The internet was turning on her. They were bullying her and they were thinking that it was all a bunch of bogus bullshit when it was all true. I messaged her back and I said, I told Anna this morning that Hans has been going around and saying stuff to everyone and stuff like that. He's known to get drunk and start speaking in emotionally and stuff like that. I've seen it personally myself, and I've told Anna that directly. So I think she's going to be having a big talk to him and getting down to the bottom of it, because at the moment he's saying he hasn't said anything, and he's also saying he didn't say anything to the girl he dated. But I know that's not true, because there's stuff that you know that I know is true that only she would know because he has told her that. Because this information was stuff that I never even told Lauren, or just never even told a close friend of mine. I just knew it was fucking true. So Hans Paul, not only is he dealing with the wrath of what his life is, he is so emotionally broken that he's at the pub crying to people or telling them about his life. I don't know the details about whether he's crying to them or not. Crying, I don't know, but like at least telling them about his life, how he doesn't have money, how he lives in his van and his kids treat him horrible. That's what he's telling these people. So obviously after these messages with Veruca, I took it upon myself that I needed to say something, because if I did not say something, Veruca's getting called a liar and there's no sort of resolution to this thing. I wanted to kind of be a middle ground. I wanted to speak a little for Veruca and defend her, but I also wanted to tell people to leave Anna alone, and just, so Veruca's getting so much hate from that. So I took it upon myself to post this video and delete it within like 3 minutes.
I don't think Veruca is lying. I genuinely think she was told this information, and most of it is true to some extent, but like it is just a preferred way of life by him. So I think everybody needs to stop talking about this. Leave Veruca alone. Please don't bring up her dead baby and fucked up shit like that. That's disgusting. And also, let's just stay out of Anna's family life, because I finished to say that has nothing to do with us, yada, yada, yada. Please, haters, I want to know where in that video I said Veruca was a liar. I would love to know. I said Veruca is telling the truth. All right. Case closed. So everything Veruca said, I'm not going to ramble on for too long now. Everything Veruca said was true, things I witnessed. And at the time when this all came out, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to speak. I wasn't ready to break that loyalty that I have held for this family for so long, which I don't even fucking know why. I did not owe that family fucking shit, and I shouldn't have done anything. But as I said, her fans are crazy. Veruca experienced the wrath of those fans, and they're fucking crazy, and I didn't want them on me, so I never fucking said anything. Even our hairdresser Jilly says, dude, I even witnessed it. He legit was sleeping in his van in the garage. That was just another witness, witnessed that shit. We don't have enough proof on his Instagram that he's living like that. Now I'm going to get to the next part here. I made a public comment on a video of Sarah Paul and Hans Paul. Sarah Paul is a close friend of mine. She is a very lovely, sweet angel girl. She does motherhood content. She is a content creator on TikTok. I think everybody should go and give her a follow, send her some love. Her and I have gotten close over the years, and obviously she is a sibling to Anna and Addis Paul, whom is from Hans in Hans's previous marriage or previous relationship. And we have always remained friends regardless of whatever's happened between Attis and Anna and I, because she does not have a relationship with Anna and Attis and Vildan, because she never has. And I have opinions that I'm going to be speaking on that I want you to know, that I want to clarify is not directly coming from Sarah. However, Sarah has made posts on her Instagram that may or may not suggest certain things, but I'm going to say my opinion, and I'm also going to say things that I heard from Hans Paul's mouth when he was crying to me about these instances. So I made this comment. I said, their mother is a horrible, nasty woman that robbed Sarah of her father, because this was a compilation of all these photos of people finding out that Anna Paul had another sibling because nobody knows about it. When she's also a content creator, when she's also a small business owner with a salon, like an in-home salon that does tattooing and stuff like that, which Anna never fucking shouted out or posted, never supported. Anyways, so here's a vlog from 2020-21, and this is a photo of Anna and Sarah. This is a screenshot, and I just want to talk about this. So when I first met Anna and Addis, I had, obviously got to know them. I would ask questions. Oh, do you have any other siblings? Do you have any, and they mentioned to me that they had a sister, Sarah, who is related to them through their father, and that she was a half sibling. And apparently she lives in Sydney.
And I said, does Papa have a relationship with her? And they said, no, not really. And I was like, well, why? She lives in Australia. Why is that? And, you know, obviously because I'm a broken child, you know, I experienced having an adoptive father that hated my fucking guts and treated me like shit. It just kind of broke me down. I kind of felt sad. I kind of felt like, well, you know, he lives here and he's not really there and they haven't really seen each other in a long time. I mean, they'd send each other messages here or there, but they haven't seen each other since like probably early teens or something or whatnot. Just completely a strange relationship. But as Sarah says, which are some of these screenshots, this is Sarah posting on her own Instagram, and I'm just going to talk about them. You know, everybody wants the tea. I'm overwhelmed by the love and kindness of you all have shown me. My inbox is flooded with a lot of curiosity, which I would love to share, but also so personal about my childhood. So she needed to take some time before she even thought that she might even be close, to share anything about her childhood or anything that she had gone through with this family, which, you know, is fucked up. But she answered a question on her Instagram saying, are you close with your other siblings? So she has 7 siblings, 4 on her dad's and 3 on her mum's. So Hans Paul has other children too. Not just Sarah, not just Anna, not just Atis. There's another 2. But I'm not going to talk about those kids. I personally don't know them. She said, rough, lonely, confusing when somebody asked her what's her childhood like. But the grass is always greener where you water it. Always be open and kind-hearted because the energy you give will attract. She answered a question saying you deserved to have your father around. She said, I agree, but everything happens for a reason, and I am who I am today because of the experiences I went through. My doors have always been open to those who want to be in my life. I don't hold grudges, I just set boundaries. Even if he couldn't be there for me then, I am grateful that he is able to be there for my children now. I'm going to touch on that. Sarah had times where her father was there. Very rarely. She has gone to Germany and spent time with them before. And as I said, before I speak, none of this is coming from Sarah. This is coming from stories and stuff that Hans Paul has told me, not saying that Sarah and I haven't had our conversations, but I just do not want Sarah thrown under the bus here for absolutely anything. This is all entirely coming from Hans Paul and information that he has told me and things that I have witnessed with my own 2 eyes. So I just want to say that, you know, she had gone to Germany and, you know, he was trying to actively be there in her life, especially when she was kind of younger. And, you know, it wasn't like they would see each other all the time, but they would see each other sparingly throughout the years in childhood. Now, when I set this arrangement up between Anna and Atis, so this was in 2021, you know, I had followed Sarah on social media since I first got to their house and I had learned they had this beautiful sibling that created content too. I wanted to follow her. So I did. And we had, you know, been chatting back and forth and, you know, becoming friends online. Anna never did that and Atis never cared either, but I did. And I noticed that she's an amazing person and she's cool and whatever. So eventually it got to a point where, oh my God, we should meet up. And this was in 2021. So obviously a year later, 2020 is when I started talking to her. And so we met up and she was so lovely. We were hanging out with her, having so much fun. We had dinner. Anna was over the moon. She was filming her content as usual. Atis, we were talking to her partner. We really liked him. Everything was so sweet. This was before she had children. And she was just a really sweet girl and we wanted to keep seeing her again. We loved it. So we came home from Sydney. So we had gone to Sydney to originally meet her. So we had come home and I just remember like, you know, everyone was talking, like Hans was so happy. He was making comments like, oh, it's just so beautiful to see, like reunited, like da-da-da-da-da. Because obviously Hans had been texting her a lot while he was in Germany. And I'm going to get to the stories a bit later with what happened in the middle of these 2 timelines. But, you know, Hans was over the moon. Anna was excited because, you know, she's probably realistically got a new content source and it's going to blow up because, oh, look, my spare sibling. And I don't want to try and downplay it or anything like that, but like just the way she's acted after just goes to show that that was nothing but her intentions and thoughts. And Addis, I don't know, he's a bit, I don't know if he has a brain cell with this situation. I don't know what's going on. They'll just do anything to make their mother happy. So anyways, we're all happy. We're all talking in the lounge room. So Vilden comes in, you know, she's got her man with her, whatever, like she's seeing how we're going, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously Hans is talking about this dinner, you know, Atis is talking about it, Anna are talking about it, that we've got nothing but good things to say. And she's standing in the fucking corner. And this is what she always did. She would just stand there and she's like, so how did this happen? happen? Like, how did this arrangement, like, who messaged first? Like, who made this thing? Because, again, we all live in the same country, yet they hadn't seen Sarah in years or even really spoken to her in years. So who did this arrangement? Who started this? Like, like trying to find who initiated the meetup. It was me. I said, I did. I'm friends with Sarah. Like, we talk online, and I created the meet. Like, I made that us go out to dinner, and I connected everybody, and it's so beautiful and happy. And she's like, lovely, with her little fake fucking smile. The eyes were telling. She was pissed. She was pissed off. And I noticed Atis and Anna looked at each other while this was happening. It's like they almost had some underlying agreement that was unspoken agreement that, oh, I wonder how mama's going to feel about this. Why? Why should they have a feeling about that? Why should they have to worry that what their mom's going to think about this meet? Poor Sarah hasn't had a father her whole life. She's had a father that has shown up maybe she can probably count on both her hands. I'm not saying she said that. I'm just saying that's what he's told me. So why the fuck would a woman that's at her old age be so bothered that she's not even with that man anymore? Why does she care? I know why. Because she's addicted. She's addicted to attention. She needs her kids' full attention. That even if they're giving attention to Papa, it's the fucking end of the world. And if Atis is giving me attention, it's the end of the world too. So obviously I knew Vildan. I knew how she operated. I fucking clocked that shit. I already knew that. She was jealous of me. She didn't like me. But she hated and didn't even like me even more now that I was initiating hangouts with the cool half-sister and I was friends with her and Hans was getting joy and happiness in his life. She never liked to see that man happy. She always wants to see him in his van homeless. I don't care what you guys say. I know this woman. I don't care what you think you know about Vildan through the fucking camera, through Anna Paul's edited, curated TikTok vlogs. But that woman is a nasty, evil person. She makes everyone around her miserable. She does not care. She only cares about herself. And as long as money is coming into her pocket, her allowance that her kids pay her, like, she's happy. And that's how you have to keep, and that's why they have to keep increasing it too. Otherwise she starts to sulk and get sad or whatever. Like, again, at what point am I talking shit and nagging and going off track? But anyways. So yeah, that was just the beginning of the bullying that I endured from Vildan. Like, just the fucking beginning. It just got so much more worse. It was already bad before, but it was way worse now. She wasn't shy about it. She did not like me. She would talk shit about me in German straight in front of me, and I knew it too. And I, of course, at the time, weak or whatever, but I was getting fed up. And, you know, she would be going out with Glenn, Anna, her, and then her new man and his kids or whatever the fuck it was, going out to the Korean barbecue and having fun while Hans is at the house, dog sitting or watching whatever shit on his laptop, sleeping in the garage in the van, because she was already upset with me that I had already allowed that man to sleep in the garage. She didn't even want that. She didn't even want Hans to, like, be near the kids. That's what it seemed like to me, all right? Again, I don't want to ramble, but the reason why Paul was allowed to sleep in the garage and be in that house and have a bathroom to shower in was because of me. And all I ever heard out of Atis and Anna Paul's mouth was complaints about how the bathroom stunk like him and just laughing at him and how we don't want Papa here and all this shit. Oh, it makes me want to vomit. It actually makes me want to throw up. It's actually fucked, the fact that I never said anything till now. But here we are, right? Better late than never. Or are we not following that? Are we not caring anymore? At this point, am I an enabler too? I think I am. But, you know, I did what I could at the time to help him, and I would give him money and whatever. Help him, like, make him, like, if I ever needed a job, I would pay him money to do it. Hans Paul would tell me stories of, you know, what it was like raising Anna and Atis, how he had a family before Anna and Atis, and then he had Sarah in between these two, and then he started a family with Vildan. So, you know, he has about, I think, 5 kids. Sadly, the first 2 situations didn't work out. They just didn't work out. So he started a family with Vildan, but really early on realized red flags. This is words from Hans Paul. Red flags with Vildan. She was very jealous. There was just a lot of things about the woman that just was not giving right. But he stayed. He did not want to abandon another family like what he had already done twice. So he stayed regardless of how he was treated. and boy, did it cost him later. But, he still had contact with Sarah's mum and Sarah during these times of raising Anna and Attis, and would invite Sarah over and have play dates and things like that. But Vildan was very jealous of her mother. She was obviously this beautiful Thai woman, and she was very jealous. And I know Vildan. She's a jealous woman. She's so jealous. She's so jealous of her son's relationship. She wants her son all to herself. She'll put the woman through grief every time. She did it to his ex. She did it to me. Like, this woman just needs everything. She needs all the attention. She needs to be the loudest in the room. She needs to have all the money that the kids are handing out. Like, she didn't like that I gave Hans money. She just didn't like me because I saw Hans and I treated him like a human being, and I wasn't going to bully him like his fucking kids did to make her happy. It was almost like they'd do this and say this to make their mama happy. It brought her happiness to see Hans low and down in the dumps. But yeah, so throughout this, Hans would try and initiate, conversation with Sarah's mom and like the play dates and the organizations. And obviously throughout her childhood, there was sparing times where she did have interactions with Hans, play dates with her siblings, and she went to Germany one time and all that. But behind the scenes was a giant headache. Vildan gave Hans so much grief that, she would literally say, like, she's not coming, you're not allowed to talk to Sarah's mom and Sarah, otherwise I'm leaving you, and stuff like that. And this is no word of a lie. Hans Paul told me this out of his mouth. And I believe him. I know that for sure. I know what type of woman she is. She's an evil, nasty woman. And she did not treat Sarah good. And this came from Hans. I'm not saying this came from Sarah. She didn't treat Sarah good. She was nasty and evil and horrible. And any time that she had with her, she was just like a nasty stepmom. You know what I'm saying? Just jealous and nasty. So eventually, throughout the time that she shared there, it was getting harder and harder and harder for Hans to be allowed to have contact with Sarah and Sarah's mother. So in the end, apparently, he just went quiet. And the stories match up to all the other ones I've heard that he's told me and then I've heard. So at what point are you a bad father or a victim? I don't know. And I said I wasn't going to say a bad word about Hans Paul in this podcast. But I will just say I'm a little disappointed at just the effort that he has put in to fight against that woman. I understand he did not want to lose his family. And I know that Vildan gave him insane ultimatums. And I know that even still now, and I'm not saying I've been told this, but I'm just saying I know because I witnessed it, the ultimatums that he would be getting right now, considering Sarah has children, because Sarah is kind of like on her story, she's friends with me, she's on her story kind of saying stuff. I just know the ultimatums are crazy, and I just know that Hans, if I witness you not in your grandkid's life, that I know that it's Vildan, and I know it's your kids, and I know that that's not your choice, and I'm disappointed, and it's pathetic, and you need to step up. You need to step up to the plate. But if that's something that you don't want to do, and you're going to allow yourself to be fucking puppeted around, then that's on you, and I'm sorry, but that's so miserable, and not what you stand for, and I know it's not. And I know that if you listen to this, because I know that you used to watch Alice's live streams and watch what she would say online and felt bad for her and sympathized with her as a victim because you know your kids are fucked, you would tell me that you don't know where you went wrong with raising these kids and that they're just like Vildan. And I agree. They are fucked. Those kids are nothing like you. They are exactly like their mother. Just like when you told Attis when he got done for scamming, when he was a bit younger, that you can't believe it, that he's your son, because that's so not you. Yeah, I just think that it's pretty disgusting that you allow people around you to dictate your relationships with your own children and grandchildren. But I'm not going to talk too much on it. I know that you've been through a lot. I know that you've been through a lot over the years. I witnessed you going through so much. You had burnout. You provided for your family. It was never enough. They would bully you. They would make fun of you. They would treat you badly because Vildan would fucking manipulate those kids to think that she did everything nice when you were putting the lights on and the food in the mouth. Like, not to repeat myself and ramble, but it truly just makes me so upset. And I'm so glad I'm not crying here because the last couple of podcasts that I've had to film, it was just messy, disgusting crying. And I can fully say with my chest right now, Hans Paul is victim of the Paul siblings. He's a victim. He's a victim, and he'll never admit it, and he'll never talk. He'll cry to people at the pub, but he will never get on here and say anything. And he'll probably just get on here and defend them because he has to. Now we're going to move on to the breakup.